This next story has been suppressed by mainstream media. Let's go to Andreas for more.
Everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarians.
Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarians.
Hello. Welcome to the Xirtus. Tune in for another exciting episode of wonder, imagination, and discovery.
Recent Tartarians.
Coming up next, Xirtus.
If you didn't record that, that's gone forever. It's gone.
David,
Hello?
how's it going?
Yeah, good afternoon. How is everything there in America?
Well, that's a loaded question in and of itself, I guess. How are things in the world? I guess we're freaking out about the tanks. You know, that's the thing that everyone's talking about right now. But I mean, the Ukraine
Are
thing
they?
is only.
That's if they watch television. What tanks?
Well,
you
right.
mean Germany and Ukraine?
Yeah, Canada is all excited about giving tanks, and but then there was the BRIC. BRIC became BRICA because the Arabian aspect. So they're all confused about what to think about the Arabs now. So I thought that'd be an interesting time to bring you back in and see what you were thinking.
But let me tell you something about Ukraine. I've got friends in Kharkiv.
Okay.
Yes, in the east. I've got friends I pronounce it Lviv in the west. I've got friends in Odessa in the south. I've got friends in Mariupol. I've got friends in Kiev itself.
Yeah, it's a friendly country, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's because I've been to these places. And the thing is, I've asked people to send me even one video that individual people are sharing on their own WhatsApp. You know, like when you see a fight on the streets and think, oh my God, quickly get your phone out. Have you seen what's going on out there?
Yeah. All these Telegram channels, they're just full of this stuff. You can't tell if it's real or propaganda.
But guess what? We can't find anything on Ukraine of local videos, individual videos.
Right.
It's because, for example, many people have not been to Kiev, but Kiev's a huge city. I would describe it as like Charlotte in North Carolina. Yes, that size, or half the size of Denver, or probably even going up to the size of Denver.
Yeah, I'd consider it about there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty big. And the thing is, people are living in apartments in the city. There's massive estates. And the thing is, if there's rockets coming, how come nobody's got anything recorded? There's cameras on many buildings, everything. How come we can't see a
busy
single
getting
rocket
Zelensky do his booty dance? We have to see that. So, but I remember at the beginning of the war, there were Russian and Ukrainian Telegram channels, and then Zelensky made it illegal. If you're sharing footage, what if that were used for some reason? So it's
whatever is going on over there.
We're not supposed to know.
The thing is, I'll give you an example right now. Many people didn't notice during coronavirus, but just before coronavirus, Donald Trump, had all these sanctions put on China. Yes, do you remember?
Oh yeah. Yeah, everything's so expensive right now. We're trying to find, I'm playing with 1970s cassette players right now. It's hard to get chips and resistors from China because they cost. Expensive? Oh my God! Is the tariff on top of it? So you get a resistor should be like a sixth of a cent, but because of tariffs and everything else and shipping, it's like $6, right?
Okay. Now the thing is, many people have not examined the China thing. So since we go, I'll start off with China then. The US-China trade war. I'll send you all these things. And this is from my book, The Donald Trump Codes. Now, I've just sent you an introduction. It's called The Donald Trump Codes. And then the thing is, you'll soon find this very suspicious because it's linked to COVID-19. Yes. So the thing is, I had a look at the trade war and it was, you can't assess it until it's over. So the thing is, basically the Trump administration is over. So the Ukraine war, I cannot make an assessment without it actually being over. Now, the thing is, Donald Trump saying, hey, we've had enough of China. The Chinese are selling all their things over here. And it says China's days are over, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, now. So the thing is, April 2017, Trump says, hey, you got 100 days, sort things out. 100 days finished, and then the Americans and the Chinese trade officials had their meeting on 19th of July, and they did not manage to make an agreement. Yes?
Well, so it's funny that 19 comes up right away again, but you're right. It did.
Oh, yeah. But wait till you see this. It just becomes ridiculous. So now the thing is, at that time in 2017, the United States was buying 19% of all of China's exports. Yes. So now the trade war that involved Donald Trump from the start of tariffs to the end of tariffs at that time lasted for 19 months.
Oh
so
in other words,
this is according to how it's reported. This is how it's reported by the New York Times, foreign affairs committees, etc., things like that. So this trade war lasts for 19 months, and it starts on the 19th of July, and the Americans were taking 19% of China's exports. So now let's see what exactly happened. So now we're going to see that they're talking about all these Uyghurs in China and all these things. The Chinese are doing this, that, everything. It reminds you of the days when the Americans, not the Americans, I shouldn't say, because the name has changed. But at the time in the last century, we don't know who it was. The people in power, they were oppressing the natives. Yeah, and they were telling the natives what to eat, change your names, how to dress, etc. So now in China, there's a similar thing going on, and they said we want to change these people to Chinese. It's called Chinicization. Yes. Well, anyway, the trade war. Yes, the Trump administration. They said we're going to control export limits. Yeah, that we're not going to give them any technology. They're using it against these Uyghurs. Blah blah blah. So now these export list. They made the export list on the 19th of November 2018. So everybody thought, hey, they're making an export list. And so now the US government then makes an entity list. Yes. And the company called Huawei becomes famous. I've sent you all the links from my book, Donald Trump Code, so that you can check. Yeah. So now Huawei is on the entity list. So the entity list, they start compiling it on in May 2019, and it's like basically finalized on the 19th of August. Of all these Huawei companies, in other words, you can't do business with them. Restrictions.
It's crazy, and this is a big deal because they're in China, they're in Canada too. I mean, we've been calling them spies in every respect, but
but the thing is, everybody's listening to the news. It's 19. Right. So then we all hear Huawei mobiles are going to beat Apple. Yes, and then the story comes out that, hey, if Google does the ban on Huawei, then Huawei phones won't work, and then nobody can buy them. I'm laughing because it's a very evil scheme. Whoever thought of that was, a mastermind.
Do you remember the phone that came out in 2019 from Huawei that was such a big deal? It was called like the Y9, which meant 19 in Chinese.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, I remember that.
Literally about 19.
Check this out. Google turns around and says, we're banning Huawei on the 19th of May, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So now the thing is...
I just have to also say, I was looking it up just now, and there are 19 devices that are open for the Harmony Huawei operating system. So 19 again.
Yes. So yes, I was going to send you that. So now this Huawei operating system is suspicious.
Yes.
It's 19. So now the Americans say, oh, you can't use this now for the 5G networks. Yes, and they're telling Europe and Australia saying you got to stop it. So now the thing is, they banned Huawei equipment, and then Huawei, of course, thought, hey, America's a free country, so now we're going to challenge this in court. Right. And then this was finalized when the judges in court turned around and said, hey, no, Trump's law is coming in, and you can't buy this Huawei equipment. 19th of February 2020. Of course, if China banned something, and if you went to China and said, hey, I'm complaining against this law, I don't think you could do that there.
Yeah, what do you expect to happen, right? Exactly.
Yeah. So now the thing is, they're telling us about these Uyghurs day and night in Europe. I don't know about in America, but I know that Marco Rubio was screaming about them and everything. So now if you check all this stuff out, what they're saying about the Uyghurs, mass surveillance from technology, they're separating the kids from the parents. But isn't that what they did, in Europe? It's in my book, In the Orphan Trains, and what they did to the natives in America.
In Canada, absolutely. Everybody, everywhere, we're finding examples of
they basically did it all over the world. So now what China is doing now is what everybody else did to establish the nation states. Yes. And then what they're doing is, the diet changes, things like that. They're even saying there's a lot of forced marriages to Chinese men.
Yeah.
And, Marco Rubio and the rest of them said, this is classified as rape. So now the Trump administration, yes, officially recognizes this as genocide, of the people. So, genocide on the 19th of January, 2021.
Really? That's when Trump admitted? Oh, come on. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
On the 19th of January, 2021. I mean, that's insane.
Yes. So soon you'll notice there's something going on. But the thing is, why are the Chinese exporting 19% of their goods to the US? It means both sides are using it. But now check this out. It gets even worse. So now Donald Trump's trying to reduce the amount of goods people buy from China. Yes. So let's have a look at the actual data and the statistics. And remember, Donald Trump said, hey, the trade data is fake in the first place. He said that 19 times during the election, before he got elected. I've not sent that information. But anyway, the US trade deficit to China by 2019 went down by up to maximum 19%. Yes, because of the trade war. So Donald Trump's trade war was working. It went down by 19%. Yeah. So now it's not just that. Then they turn around saying Hong Kong, things are getting out of hand. And Donald Trump says, hey, we can't do trade with Hong Kong anymore. They're, it's not a free place. So the Trump administration announces on the 19th of August, 2020, that it's changing its trading agreements with Hong Kong. Yes. So it just goes on. But look at all this data. It's ridiculous. So anybody, by the time you get to the bottom of it, you'll soon realize it's all a scam.
Yeah.
And then they tell us that because
strange.
of the trade, that by the time the tariffs have gone up, that now Donald Trump's coming out after 2020. In 2020, the average US tariffs on Chinese goods was 19%.
God.
That's how much he'd put on. Oh, Donald Trump has put on 19% tariffs.
So it goes down and is raised by 19. It's like what is this? Every single.
Yeah, but well, as you can see, this is the New World Order. So now check this out. So they turn around and say that now a disease comes out in 2019, and it spreads worldwide, and it's called COVID-19. And Donald Trump, of course, blames China. And China is importing services from the United States. Services means things like accountancy, logistic reports, and legal services, and things like that. And so now, because of COVID-19, US exports of services in 2020, it goes down by $19 billion.
God,
is this supposed to be real? Oh, this is from .gov USM statistics.
Somebody who was watching one of our videos, had mentioned, because you had brought up the May 4th movement, which the Chinese major political movement is 1919, but also the idea that 2020 is, because 19 and 0. So 19 has an absolute value of 20. So 1919 has a value of 2020, and they're kind of mirroring these ideas or something. It's interesting.
Now the thing is, when you go to mirroring, it's like where does the number 18 fit in 1716? This is why I'll have to talk about that in a different thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's a totally different subject. Yeah. So the thing is, I remember the first few interviews that I had with you. It's because I was jumping from topic to topic. Many people didn't understand things. Yeah, but now I've noticed people are understanding things more. But anyway, check this out. The Chinese government makes an announcement. Yes, that US imported goods from China fell 3.6% in 2020. But they're saying, oh, your tariffs didn't work because the total imports are up by 19% from 2010. But why did the Chinese quote those figures? Right. So now they're quoting this thing. This is in my Donald Trump book that is just a joke. The entire Donald Trump administration, the scandal of the Mueller investigation, the text messages, 19,000 deleted text messages, and all that. Donald Trump calls it a witch hunt. That's in that. Yeah. But since we're talking about 19, so let's talk about. Do you remember that? Because now somebody will think it's just politics, but you remember Gangnam Style. Oopa, Gangnam Style.
Oh yeah, which means horse style, right? Because Gangnam is horse. It's the place where the horses were raised.
Yeah. Gang. Actually, gang. It depends which language, which dialect. It means riverside, so it's the other side of Seoul. Yeah,
So
it's on
this
the other side
guy,
of Seoul Tower.
this pop star guy who you're showing, who did the Gangnam Style song, he was like in Berkeley.
Just look at him showing off his one eye.
Yeah.
But let's have a look at the data. Now, when you look at the data of this Gangnam Style, then you'll soon start thinking, yes, there is something going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, the thing is,
the Koreans are totally
most people won't want to, but look at this. Gangnam Style became successful 19 days after its video release. That straight away, the Wall Street Journal, CNN, everybody reported it 19 days later, and they said, whoa, this new song that nobody's heard of in the West is going ground like fire. And what exact reports did they say 19 days later? They said that 19 days later, we've just found out that it's had 10 million views in 19 days. So now this is Gangnam Style. So the thing is, all this is to do with the Kabbalah. So now the thing is, they told us that by the 19th of October 2012, yes, Gangnam Style had just over 500 million views. Yes, on YouTube, but exactly on the 19th of October. So now the thing is, when did Gangnam Style come to the United States? It officially entered the United States on the 19th of October 2012. 19th of October 2012. That's when it came into the United States. So, he's got to release it officially. So he's released it in many other countries before the United States. Now, check this data out and you will think, what the hell? So do you think the United States was the second country he released this song? Third country? Fourth country? Guess.
4th to 9th? What do you think? What is it?
19th country.
19th country.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Yes. So that year, Gangnam Style won the MTV Music Awards, and it was the 19th annual Music Awards that year. It just so happened to be.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So release your hit singles on the 19th of whatever. That's
and the thing is, there was a second version of Gangnam Style, but the media advertised it. Don't know if anyone listened to it. It was called Greenpeace Gangnam Style.
Really?
Yeah, Greenpeace is controlled by them. It was released on 19th of December. Yes. Yeah. So the thing is, then presidents, they don't normally talk about music, but on the 19th of December, President Obama said, "I love Gangnam Style," and he says, "I danced to it in the White House, my daughter." Blah blah blah. He goes on. Yeah. How long do you think Gangnam Style stayed in the top 10?
Well, thank you for the hint. 19 months.
Yeah, you're not far off. 19 weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the world moves too fast for that.
Yeah. So now Gangnam Style was amazing because they said, hey, it's going to be they predicted on the 19th of December that it's going to hit 1 billion views on the 21st of December. Now it was important 21st of December because they turned around and said the Mayan calendar was famous was famous for 21st of December, and saying at the end of that day there'll be a new end of the world or a new cycle starting on the 22nd. So that's why the media was focusing on that date. So now what they don't tell you is that one, when we go to school, they teach us about this Mayan calendar. Then in the media, they turn around and say, oh, the public's superstitious. They got it all wrong. But they're the one who advertised it on the media. Or nobody. Is anybody looking out for the Aztec calendar this year? No, unless if the media advertises it. So now, do you know next what they tell us? I'll send you from the History Museum, California. So now they tell us, it's totally wrong. And then they're telling us, oh, the Mayan calendar's wrong by 19 minutes. And all this sort of crap. Yeah. Well, anyway, then they turn around and say Gangnam Style guy has become so famous that he's honored in Asia to do the opening ceremony, things like that for the Asian Games.
Oh, that's really nice.
And
Good.
Then Gangnam Style, it hits its maximum, 2.5 billion views. And then and this was on 19th of January, 2016. So it just went on and on. Gangnam Style, they turn around and say many people hated that.
Hello? You got cut for a second. Are you there? God. I mean, that's
because I was too busy.
Sorry, you got cut for a second. I didn't hear what you said. I was just thinking that 2.5 billion views is more than people alive, like in 1950.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they say that Gangnam Style was the 19th most disliked video at the time.
Really?
And then they turned around and said, yes. And then they said, because Gangnam Style, has gone over 1 billion views, they said there's a problem with internet counters and servers because of the number of digits. And then they said that the internet servers, many of them are going to run out of time by the 19th of January, 2038. So now Gangnam, he releases his next single. Yeah. You know, his next single, guess what? Was his 19th single. Not that anybody is asking to know what number the single is, but the media is telling us, hey, he's releasing his 19th single. Why didn't they tell us, hey, Gangnam Style is his 18th single? So now they're saying the world records were broken with his 19th single. Yes. Right. And check this out. They said it had 19 million views.
That's right. And his name is freaking Psy. Psy. That's what we keep forgetting to say. Because his name is Psy.
But the thing is, what the hell is going on here? Now, this is clear that the media, the music industry, East or West, is organized by the same.
The Korean K-pop is into the occult and the Illuminati sacred geometry.
Yeah, so
Squid Games.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now it means that both sides, even the politicians, the musicians, everything that we're seeing that's advertised, the media, everything,
they're part of the lodge
by the same people.
Yeah, they're in the same lodge. They're in the same. They like the same math jokes. Oh. Yes.
So now we've got a serious problem.
We do have a serious problem.
Yes. So it is a serious problem because many people are ignoring it.
I mean, so now we've got so many people around the world that think that we're in a worldwide war, and yet all of these different places seem to be ruled by one group of friends. That is a serious problem.
Yes. So now, anyway, let me show you the flower of life, and you're going to have to concentrate on this. Now, the flower of life has got 19 circles. Now, in this picture, it shows the 19 combined circles. That when it's in 3 dimensions, it looks like a cube. The 19 circles.
Right.
But when it's in 3 dimensions, to make it 3-dimensional, what many people don't know is that the 19 circles, there has to be 33 overlapping circles.
Right. Shadows.
33, the 33rd degree.
It's all there. There we go. So it has to do with multiple dimensionality. Yeah.
Yes. So in the third, So 19 in the 3rd dimension, it's like, I'll give you an example. When you make a business plan, that's the 1st dimension. It's on paper. Now, when you're actually carrying out that plan, like in the morning, you say, I'm going to do this, that, this today. You're writing it down. Now, that is the 1st dimension. That's 19. Now, when you look at that, I've sent you the flower of life, and it forms a cube, with the red circles. I've done it in red. So now the thing is, this is the maximum size that any flower, any human being, or anybody can progress. This is why the 33rd degree is the highest. You can't go beyond it. Yes? You can't go beyond it. Yes? It's the maximum potential that somebody's got. And then the thing is, now that shape where you've got when it becomes a cube. So now the thing is that many people will obviously notice the cube. Now the thing is, there is
a weird thing.
Yes.
I was gonna, you know about 19 and 360, right?
19 in 3 dimensions. Yes.
If you do 19 times 19, you get slightly more than 360.
No. I don't mean by multiplying it by itself. I'm saying when it becomes a 3-dimensional shape. Mm-hmm. Yes. You can find this information online. People can search for it. Let's move on so that is because the thing is, most people are wondering what is 19. So today I waited all this time. It is the 33rd degree. Yes. So now the thing is, many people, as you've noticed, it forms the shape of a cube. Yes, a cube. This is very important. So now the thing is, how does it form the shape of a cube? And before the graduation, I'll just go back a bit. Yeah, this is in my book, Matrix Codes. Now the thing is, what happens is, when it's 3-dimensional and the spheres have got to overlap. At the top there's 1, then there's 6, then there's 19. round spheres or balls. Then there's another 6, then there's 1, and this forms the cube. Yes, so there's 33. Now, inside that 33 overlapping balls cube, there is 27 full sphere balls. Yes, this is just simple geometry. Yes, so now the thing is, when people do a bachelor's degree, I've sent you simple graduation clothes. Yeah, you wear the square cap, and the thing is, you know, people think, hey, I've learned it all. I finished my bachelor's degree. Right. Yes, but now what many people don't realize is a cube isn't really a cube. Yes, so this is why afterwards you go on to do your master's degree and your doctorate. Yes, and then I've sent you the picture, a 6-pointed hat and an 8-pointed hat. Have you found it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
so now those
7 created by the 19. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So now those people who think that hey, we've understood everything now. No, they haven't. Anyway, this information is described more deeper in the book Matrix Code. Matrix Codes, it shows everything a bit more clearly. So now the thing is, there's 33. Now, many people do not know, but when you look at the stars, there's 33 major shining stars in the sky. Do you know this?
Right, yeah. And they use the rose compass for this reason, which uses the 33 points, and it's on the dollar. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. The thing is, the central star everybody says is Polaris, and then there's another 32 that are rotating around it, shiny stars. Yes, and this is what you see in the night sky. And the thing is, the stars are used for navigation, and they've always been used for navigation for centuries, including Polaris. There's 33. So this is the 33rd degree that even in the skies, we can see that the maximum is 33. Right. Yes. So now the thing is, what many people immediately think of when they think of cube, they naturally think of Mecca and Kaaba. Yes. Yeah. It is a natural
cube, right? The next box.
Oh, those are temporary cubes. I'm not. If Definitely you live in Indonesia, yeah. Now I'll give you an example. Let's talk global now. Now, because you're in the United States, you have to remember there's a lot of viewers from Europe. Now, there's different companies in Europe, different companies in Germany, different companies in Japan, China. You got to think of SoftBank in Japan. You know, what are they doing? You know, and you know, it's like we've got to focus globally. And now the thing is, I've sent you a poster, and I'll send you a few more posters that people can find online. Now, these posters, whoever made them, it took them a lot of time. They must have done them professionally. Yes, the thing is, you find them on Google search. There's hundreds of them, and I'm estimating that they've been shared hundreds of millions of times. These posters.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's got kind of an idea about the cube, you know, and how valuable it is.
Well, what you'll notice is that one, everybody's calling it Saturn. Oh, by the way, can I ask you what your name is?
My name's Andreas.
Who said?
Who said my name is Andreas? My mother named me Andreas.
Ah, yes. So now I will ask you, who said that planet with rings over there is called Saturn?
The
people in power.
The schools, right? Yeah, exactly.
People yes, the people in power. Oh, the truth is, you know, if you're not from a Western country, in different countries, they call it a totally different name. Now, the thing is, because many people who are English speaking, they seem to think, oh, no, that represents Saturn. Who said? Just because you went to school and they're telling you this? Are they telling you that there's 19 in Gangnam Style? Are they telling you that there's 19 in this Donald Trump China war? Are they explaining did they even teach you simple geometry? Flower of life has got 19 and in 3 dimensions it's 33. And people are trying to figure out the 33rd degree. And anybody who's watched my previous videos are thinking, what's he talking about 19? Yeah, it's because the rest of the information's in the books. I cannot read out, you know, thousands of pages of books I've written. So some people are saying, hey, he's ridiculously saying read the books. What do you want me to do?
I mean, you look at this stuff and you have to understand that in Islam, it's basically illegal to have human form, but they're obsessed with math and geometry because that's what you're allowed to present.
But now we've got a serious problem. One, when you look at these posters, now I'll send you another poster that I made to show 19 is 33 degrees. Now this poster, my one of my assistants did this, and it took her 1 hour. Yes, and that day I was beside her. I was actually on the telephone, so I noticed it took her 1 hour. And my poster isn't professional. And the thing is, these other posters that people are doing, some of them, you know, it took a long time, and they've been shared hundreds of millions of times. Who is doing this? This is a serious campaign.
Right. I've got someone who's been tagging me in some of my stuff in some of the pictures on Instagram. I've noticed that in like parts of like in Arabic countries, people have been sharing your books and tagging me in the videos that we made. Yeah, like all kinds of yes.
Grassroots. Oh, do you know, some people think that maybe I'm preaching or something, that I'm trying to show Islam. But wait a minute. It's like, I'll give you an example. If you live inside England and the United States, you will not know the conspiracy from inside.
Yeah, well, you can hard guess. To talk about the Middle Ages without talking about the Crusades, without talking about Islam. I don't know what they want from you.
Not just that. I'll give you an example, Andreas. Imagine right now somebody has got an obsessive compulsive disorder. He doesn't know that he's got a disorder or some mental problem, or he could have gone crazy, but the people around him have realized. So now the thing is, we live in Europe and America, and the thing is, I didn't realize many of these conspiracies until I went outside. I heard them inside while I was living in England. You know, I grew up most of my life. But then when I went outside, I'm hearing people saying, hey, can you see this? Did you not realize this? Did you not realize that? You know, I've been to that many places, and people are saying, hey, don't you people know? So I'll give you an example. Those people are on the outside. Those people are not brainwashed the way we are. CNN, CNBC, New York Times, BBC, ITV, DW, German TV, France 24, NHK News.
Sky, don't forget Sky. There's also the Sky News.
You know, Cosmopolitan, you know, YouTube. Even on YouTube these days, they're putting on the videos that they want to. So now the thing is, when I went there, I was totally like shocked. So now the thing is, what they've told us is that the Kaaba is a cube. So now let me just show something, and then this will make you think, damn, yes, you will turn around and think, damn, I had no idea about this. So now if you are doing a bachelor's degree, yes, a bachelor's degree is just basically you're at the first stage. So since you're at the first stage, you won't realize, and you're going to say, yeah, that building in Mecca is definitely a cube. Yeah, so those are the things that you're just going to naturally imagine. But now let me correct people. This is in my book, Matrix Code. Now, the thing is, the base of the Kaaba is actually, yes, 36 feet by 42. That's a rectangle to me. Yes. It's not even a cube.
So
yes, so now the thing is,
I just wanted to say really quickly, this is really interesting to me because earlier you were talking about the cube, and I was making the joke that I also think of Apple's Next Cube, and Steve Jobs' Next Cube was not a perfect cube, and it was 36 by 42, I think, centimeters.
Yes. And okay, so now that you mentioned, so now who did this first? The Muslims. Yes. So this is very important. So if the Muslims did it first, yes, why would Steve Jobs copy it?
Well,
then that means what is technology? What is technology? And so now the thing is, what are the Muslims doing in this place? Now the thing is, this is very important. Yeah. So the thing is, so the Kaaba is not a cube. So once you graduate to a higher level, yes, and you get to the 33rd degree, you soon realize this. Yes. And the thing is, in the Middle East, people explain. So now let me tell you how the Kaaba was built. Now, as you there's when you look at the cardinal points in the sky, let me just send you information about it. Yes, the thing is, the Arabs had invented the 32-point compass. Yes, they say it's the Arabs, but those Arabs could be Europeans. You see, because the word Europa, yes, had a different meaning back then.
And there you go. So here's the thing with the 360. All right, keep going. There we go.
Yeah, but anyway, it's 32 points, and the center Polaris makes it 33.
Right, and they call it today. The Freemasons call it the rose compass, and it's it's seriously the most useful thing if you're anywhere in the world. So I would imagine if we're calling these people Arabs or Europes or whatever they are, they're traveling. That's why they're using this compass.
Yes. Yeah. So now another thing that many people don't know is, why is it 36 by 42? So now many people don't know. Of course, they burnt all the Arabic books, but many people wrote down a few simple plans to preserve it. Now, the Kaaba itself is facing towards the cardinal points on the compass, and the dimensions 36 by 42 and everything are based on the 32 stars with the central star of Polaris. Yes. So this means whoever designed this had no intention of a cube and nothing of a cube, and it was to do with navigation. So that, can you imagine if you're in Alaska or Siberia, or if you're in let's say South Africa, or you're coming from Brazil, so that you can find this place by navigation, and so that you will know which way to pray. Yes, you see? So I've sent you that so that people can see it. Yes, and so that's how the Muslims built it. So it had nothing to do with cube or anything to do with that. It had to do with navigation and prayer time. That I'm here, I've sent you another one that you can see. It's bad handwriting that somebody wrote this down very quickly, because the European Inquisitions, they were burning all these other books, and from this you can see it's very untidy handwriting. That there's a clock there, and you know, it shows the dimensions of the Kaaba and things like this, and you know, it's to do with the clock, the prayer times and things like this. So it had nothing to do with what people are imagining. Yes, and the thing is, we've got all these Portalon maps. Have you heard of them?
Portalon? What are Portalon
maps? The medieval Portalon maps. Before the ones that have got you know, the main Latin writing. You know, people are sharing now lots of maps saying this is 16th, 17th century. There's these Portalon maps, and the Portalon maps are very strange, but obviously somebody's modified.
Oh yeah, the Portalon charts, the nautical charts, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, these are very accurate. Yes. That the Piri race map was suspicious, that they found it in Istanbul. The British found it. It's suspicious. Yeah. But anyway, they've got the coastlines very accurate, and that is based on, yes, I've sent you the things that that it's based on navigation from the stars, from the 33 stars. This is the 33rd degree. So now once people learn this thing, the 19 is it in the first dimension, and then once you figure it out, yes, I'll send it again, then you understand the 33, and it's to do with this information, to do with mathematics and astronomy. Now, the thing is, in the Quran, it specifically tells you, let me send this, the Quran specifically tells you that this is why the Muslims did this, whoever these Muslims were. And they turn around and say these Muslims were in France, Spain, and Italy. Everyone's imagining they were in Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, Dubai. No, these Muslims who were the so-called astronomers and all these clever clogs were actually in Europe, but they're calling them Arabs. But anyway, the thing is, the Muslims explain why they did this and why they were studying, because the Quran says, study the order found within nature, and then you will know from this order it has the same creator. Study the order found in astronomy, and then you will find the person who created it, and this is who is God. And then it says, study the order in the skies and the heavens above you, and the order of time, day and night, and in human speech, and the differences of how languages evolve, and the colors and the features, different features of human beings. And the Quran say it actually tells you go and study. It doesn't say this any other religious book, that it keeps challenging you, saying go travel, go see, go do this, go do that. It's like a constant thing. Yes. So now the thing is, many people will say, what's it got to do with the Kabbalah? Yes, because you know there is the Kaaba. It basically means cube, or it just means house of the father Abraham. Kaaba, because they say Abraham built this building, the Muslims say. So Ka means house, like when you say Ruska. So Slavic, Arabic, they had a common origin. Yes, like you say Polska or Magyarska, yes, or Seska or Serbski, or you see, yes, yes,
yeah, I see it coming.
Ka means house or people,
right?
Yes, and so when you say Kaaba, yeah, it means house of the father Abraham. Yes, that's why he was called Abram. Yeah. Abram means father of Rome. Yes, this is a long story, father of Rome. The thing is, many people, they've told us that Aramaic and ancient Romans is something else. But the more you look into it, you will soon realize Aramaic is the language of Rome. And Rome was founded by Abraham's two sons, Isaac and Ishmael, not the fantasy story they invented in the 16th century called Romulus and Remus. In the 16th, 17th century, they said it came from Romulus and Remus. And how do we know they said it? It's because Andreas, somebody turned around and said, "Hey, I've just found this these books that were 1,000 years old.
But they're beautifully written, and I just translated them. Buy them now."
Right, oh yeah, right. And then when Andreas says, "David, where is the original to this 1,000 years old book?" "Oh, sorry, I've lost it now. I translated it into modern Latin and I've lost it. Sorry."
David, why aren't you doing? We could be the new Joseph Smiths. I'm just saying. I mean, anytime we could.
Yeah,
this is not
we could make a lot of money out of this.
This is not a bad scheme you found. I don't know, but okay, let's keep digging.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Yes, if I was out to make money, if I was out to make money, it's because my family are business people. Or if I was out to preach, make money or something, then believe me,
right,
I would be one of the worst scammers ever.
Yeah, I would know exactly how they're doing it.
Because lies. Do you know what? Lies actually makes money.
Yeah, well, dividing people with information. So, like, you've shown some information
all
here.
These
even
religious
Arab.
groups, these religious saints and preachers.
But if Arab and Europe Arab, if these are the same word that people are arguing over from languages that didn't have vowels, or something to that effect. Yeah. Another that's a big deal because these people the whole world is divided. They're the same people.
Yeah. But anyway, now what's even bigger problem is how the hell did these people, whoever built the Kaaba, already know the compass points and everything else? This is strange. So now we've got a building in the middle of the deserts, and where hardly anybody lived a few centuries ago. Yeah, and they've just built a building there, and they've made sure that everybody from the world could navigate to get there. What the hell is going on? This is something serious. So now the thing is, let me send you a picture that was I think it was in the New York Times or New York Post or Washington Post or something, and they things like this spread. They've got Donald Trump on a crucifix. Yes. Adorable. Now that would be offensive to some people who really like Donald Trump, and they'll say it's an outright, total, blatant lie. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is what they will say. So now let me just send you something, and I want you to imagine something. Yes. Now the thing is, many people don't realize this. Now the thing is, when you look at pictures of Christ on the crucifixion, nobody is imagining something. Yes, you've got to turn around and think, hey, the thing is...
What does this say? Did a blood clot kill Jesus on the cross? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but the thing is, anybody who is not Christian, would turn around and say, oh my gosh, that's terrifying. That's disgusting. Who the hell would do that? And who the hell is going to make pictures, videos, put this in a building with a cross and a statue to make you keep remembering the blood?
Selling it to kids, right? There's big gift shops.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. So now the thing is, let me explain. So now this is the Jesus Christ in Christianity. But now when you go to Islam, some people have actually said it's boring, the Islamic version of Jesus. All they've got is just a simple guy, who prayed to God. And then, God blessed him so that he could heal people. And the second picture shows you look for the Muslim Jesus online. There's no pictures, no blood, nothing disgusting or scary or anything. So now the thing is, this is very serious. So now the Muslim Kaaba, now it's got a black cloth. So somebody will say, why is it black? Well, because the thing is, I had to ask a lot of Muslims, and the Muslims, many people remember several generations back, just over a century ago, it wasn't black, it had a white cloth, until the British armies with their Indian divisions from India, the French armies with their African divisions, the many German armies pretending to go as saviors, and Italian armies, they went and they started enslaving people. 1 million people to help build or rebuild the Suez Canal. Maybe they rebuilt it. Maybe it was already there. They turned many people into slaves. So the thing is, since then, it's been a black color. So it's like showing sadness and death. Yes, but but the thing is, now that things are getting better, so the Kaaba, I noticed
oh right.
Yeah, now that things are getting better, that you'll notice that in the 60s it was entirely black cloth. Yes. Now you'll notice that half the cloth is in white these days. So the thing is, this has got nothing to do with what people are imagining. Yes. So now the thing is, it's half the cloth's white, and now so all this seems like, so what? You know, I wouldn't have even cared to even talk about this, to be honest. Genuinely,
I don't know, black and white, you know, it's like this magic. People, you know, I hear you though. It's Michael Jackson. It don't matter if it's black or white. I hear you.
Right. I'll give you an example now. The thing is, you know, many people have got a villa in Florida. It's the shape of a cube. So does that mean they're living inside a cube? It's going
there's some weird stuff. So like if you go to Los Angeles, there's this Hollywood Babylon temple with these giant Ganeshas, and there's a cube in the center.
Is a temple.
No, but it's a mall. There's a Hollywood mall that's shaped like a temple, and it has a Kaaba, but they use it for Samsung events. It's built to look
so I'm going to
exactly
get to that, and this will be very shocking for you. So now, one, I've shown why this building is in the shape of a cube.
Something
because the corners and the edges are facing the cardinal points in the sky.
Right.
And it's for prayer times and for navigation. So this means whoever built it, if the stars were in different shapes and different locations, then it might have even been, you know, a triangle.
Yeah.
But because of the way the natural stars are, so that's what they did. Now, another thing is that's totally insane. Yes, about this Kaaba thing. This map, whoever did this hasn't done it properly, but you can check it. Yeah. I'm going to send you several maps now. The thing is, from the coastline of South America, coming from the edge of Brazil, and from the edge of you know, from Canada and the US, and from the edge of Asia, and from the edge of Australia, and what's it called, Antarctica. If you draw a circle, then the center point of that circle is actually in Mecca. Yes.
Okay.
No, wait, no, this is not enough. I thought, okay, so what? But then there's more problems.
No, but this is good. The more I'm looking at it, the more it explains a lot of these are the places
there's more
where
problems.
They have...
So now, let's have a look at this. From the edges of the North American continent and the South American continent, whoever drew this drew it dead fast. And from the edges of Australasia and Antarctica, we come to, once again, the central point. Yes, in the world is Mecca.
Wow.
This is suspicious. Whoever chose that place, this is why they called it Makkah, mother house, Makkah, or the mother city, the mother of all cities. Yes, the center of all cities. Then we've got more problems, because the thing is, I don't know why they're not teaching anybody I don't even know why the Muslims aren't talking about this. This is another suspicious thing, because I heard they're preaching everywhere. Yeah, but now look at this, the center of the Latin American continent, the center of North America, the center of Antarctica, and the center of Australasia. The central points between these four continents is actually Mecca once again. And not only that, if you rotate it, it forms a strange shape. Yes. And then when you extend it, it forms a five-pointed star, and it goes to another location. I'm not sure where, but the thing is, it's at the center. But why the hell is this place at the center?
Are moving out from it. Yeah, it has this.
But yeah, these maps are accurate. Somebody's just drawn it baby style online.
Of course. Somebody. But still, the point is the same. That there's this at the center, and these islands, these continents, whatever they were calling these things.
We've got a problem. Mecca is at the center of the known world.
Right. This even works for expanding Earth. Okay, this is brutal.
It's at the center of the known world. We've got a problem. So this means the Mecca is the center of the world, excluding the oceans.
Yeah.
For the land mass, you know, where we live, where we walk, it's the center of our world. And not only that, there's actually more. It's at the golden mean position. The golden mean position would have meant nothing, yes, without this. But there's actually more facts. When you combine it, yes, the thing is, it becomes amazing. In my book, Ancient Egypt, I put it there, that it shows that the coordinates of the pyramids are not actually at the speed of light, like some people are told. Because I checked this, because I always thought, speed of light is amazing. So I'll just go through it so that somebody can check. So the speed of light is 299,792,458 meters per second. So now you'll find many people are going to say, yes, that the coordinates of the Great Pyramid at Giza is the same data. But do you know why? Because they're going to look at, maybe one part, they'll choose where to do the measurements. But the actual measurement, because it's covering a full area square, the latitude of the Great Pyramid north intersects the Great Pyramid between the numbers 29.980150 and 29978150. And there's an estimate 2,000 numerical latitude numbers to choose from within that speed of light. So there is no speed of light.
Right.
You see?
It's just a hermetic number. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Then they're going to say, no, it's just a guess. It's a guess. It's like the same.
No, it's not.
If you're going to make what? What's that?
It's not. No, it's not.
No,
but yeah,
no, no. I don't mean it like that.
They may say
I'm giving you an example.
Exactly.
If somebody turns around and says, if somebody looks at your feet and says, that is Andreas over there, but your head is, you've got to look up to see where your head is. So now when they're taking the measurements for the speed of light at the coordinates of Giza, they're actually looking at one corner or in the middle of some middle part of the pyramid without considering all the measurements. And the actual measurements of the pyramid, there's 2,000 numerical latitude numbers between one corner to the other corner, believe it or not. That's the problem. Do you see it?
Yeah,
I've sent you the picture. Have a look.
I clearly believe this is. I've always thought, because like the speed of light changes, and so it's very arbitrary. And why did they decide these numbers?
Who said the speed of light is correct anyway?
Exactly. It's not like you can't have it as a constant, but they've used it as a constant because of their measurements of the Earth and all these things. I mean, it's a Napoleonic metric, or it's a hermetic number for me.
So based on that, I'm saying that is not enough to turn around and say that the pyramids are at the center or things like this. Yes, there is amazing mathematics there, but now we've got to turn around and think, hey, the thing is, who actually built this Mecca place? And it's to do with 19 because the cube is in the shape of a Kaaba. So now the thing is, the Kaaba is in the shape of a cube, but it's not exactly a cube. And like you pointed out that Steve Jobs, they want to do these things. And then there's a lot of misinformation that people are sharing, showing, hey, the Kaaba is that actually these other black cubes of Saturn. And the thing is, there is no evidence for it. Now, if people don't study this, they're never going to figure it out. So now the thing is, I sent you the cross of Jesus Christ. So now the thing is, in Islam, there's no blood there. So now the thing is, the secret societies that actually do have the Kaaba, and they're building these things worldwide. So now for the Muslims, Jesus Christ is just a man, but to Christianity, is a man who bled to death. So now in many secret society organizations, they're building cube shapes in many places, and many people call it the cube shape of Saturn. But the Muslim one, it's not a cube. And they have an opposite belief for it.
The Apple Store cube, for example, is a great example.
Yes. Yeah. So now, because you've asked what these other cubes are, and it goes deeper into the Kabbalah. Yes, and the thing is, that's why.
What's the name of the Israeli Mossad intelligence agency? Black Cube.
Yes. So now, because people are mentioning the Kabbalah and things like this in the cube. So let's have a look at this a bit more accurately. Now, if you look at Revelation, yes, in Revelation and in other places, it turns around and says that in the kingdom of God or something, it's going to be a cube, but something like that. But I'd rather give you the exact quote instead of an estimate. In Revelation, have you heard of it in the Bible about the cube?
What part is it about the cube?
The kingdom of God is
New Jerusalem is a giant cube, right? Kingdom of Heaven is a cube.
I've just sent it. Yeah, have you found it?
Right. It's a Kingdom of Heaven. It's like 13. It's a giant gold cube, and there's a bunch of gold and crazy stones, precious stones from all the different tribes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So now the strange thing is, yes, it's actually the way it's described as the kingdom of God. Yes. So now the thing is the way.
Yeah, heaven's a cube. That's right. Everybody needs to remember this. Revolution. Heaven's a golden cube. Oh my gosh. Oh man.
Yeah. So now the thing is the dimensions, the way it's measured, and then the entrances. Let me.
Isn't it like 13? I haven't read it in a while. It's like 13,000 or something.
No. I mean, I'm referring to
12,000 stadia.
Of heaven. 12,000. It says it has a wall great and high, 12 gates. Gates, 12 angels written on the east, 3 gates, on the north, 3 gates, south, 3 gates, on the west, 3 gates, things like that. 12 foundations, 12 apostles. Now, many people will say Mecca had something similar until it was modified, but that is depending on how you wish to assess it. So now the thing is, it looks like that they both came from a common source, because the thing is, we can't find ancient Greece where they're claiming that what's it called, the Book of John was actually written.
Right.
So now let me just show you. Many people don't know, in the Old Testament they turn on and say that the Holy of the Holies was the shape of a perfect cube. Now the thing is that they want to rebuild the Temple of Jerusalem in a perfect cube. So this is very important. And the thing is, people are fighting about this, and there's many people who, we spoke about this last time, that Jerusalem is in Europe, but now many people think it's in the Middle East. Yes, but just to make things a bit more easier, what I will do is go through a few things, and I'll show you a bit of a scam. So now here is the thing is, here you go. This is inside these so-called old mosques. You'll find many similar layouts. You'll find this in Temple Mount as well. And the Hagia Sophia is similar. Have you found the picture?
Yeah.
Look at the arches carefully. So now I'm going to send you a water power station in London. Yes, that shut down probly in the 60s or something.
Yeah, I've seen in America like this too. Very similar. I've seen these all over the place.
Yeah,
these water
have you
power
seen the arches?
Yeah.
So now the thing is, here it is with the machinery. Look at the arches again. Yes. And now in the Muslim mosque, notice that they have a dome at the top. Yes, a dome at the top. And here inside these water powered stations, here is one. Wow. And have a look at the dome at the top. You see? And then the thing is, once again, have a look at the arches inside this building. They're exactly the same as what you will see inside these Muslim mosques. And now I'm going to, I've sent you the interior of the Dome of the Rock, but here I'll send it you again in case people, it has the name on so that people can see, on Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Is that just a water power station? And people are fighting about it over nothing. All these evangelicals saying, this is the place of Christ. Or many Jewish people saying, this is the temple of the Messiah. And they're willing to be
Messiah means anointed one, so they'll get to the water and power again.
Yeah, so here, once again, here I've sent you the interior of this Al-Aqsa Mosque that they've got over there. Yeah, Temple Mount. Yeah, and the thing is, let me show you what it looks like inside this mosque. Yeah, that if you're looking down from the dome, this is what it looks like. And people are saying, this is the rock. They call it the rock, and things like this. And people are willing to fight over it, evangelicals and many things. And they think that, hey, this place is special. So I've just shown you, you're looking down from the dome. The Golden Dome in Jerusalem. Yes? That building in Jerusalem with the Golden Dome?
Right.
Let me just give that picture so that many people know it. Yeah. The dome, rock. Yes.
Everybody's supposed. This is the thing that everybody fights about the most. So when people are always saying, "Hey, this is complicated," it's the dome.
The fight. Let them fight over
Well, they're supposed to be waiting for an unblemished calf or something like that, or their Messiah.
A water power station.
19
but
power
anyway,
stations.
this is really going to get to you. So I've sent you the Dome of Rock building, but now let's go back to, you're looking down from the Golden Dome, and this is what it looks inside the building. And many people say that on there is a rock. Now, there's many Islamic legends, nothing to do with the Quran, that says that the Prophet Muhammad went up to the stars or something from that place. But anyway, let's look at these, power stations again. This is from a power station in England. Just in case somebody says that is not the Dome of Rock, I've sent you another one. No, I've sent you the wrong one now. Now I've actually sent you what's inside the power station. Can you see?
Oh, wow,
what difference do you see? What difference do you see? Yes. You're looking from the dome place in the power station. Yes.
It's beautiful. And it's like spiral. Wow.
Yeah, it's exactly the same like the Dome of Rock. Yeah. So now they've got a mosque next door to the Dome of Rock. Have a look at this mosque. Now, the interior is exactly the same design like the Gothic churches in Europe. And the exterior exactly looks like Gothic churches too. Now, the interior, they've of course put modern plaster plates and other things to make it look different than the ones in Europe, but it's exactly the same. And then the thing is, let's look at some of these power stations that are in Europe. It's similar interior in that Hagia Sophia. So now the thing is, you'll find these power stations around the world with the machinery inside, and what do you see?
Arches, domes.
Yeah, yes. There's another one there. Yeah, people can look at these things themselves. There's many things. The thing is, it is clear that these places were modified. Yes, they're just modified, and they're telling us it's a religious place. Now, the sad news I've got for everybody, just have a look at this. And in Europe, they'll put some statues, and then they'll just keep the stone without the carpet, remove the paint and the plastering that the Muslims have put on, like here, and then you've got a Gothic cathedral. You see?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So the thing is, the Muslims have decorated it. So now I'm going to
show. Westerners, the Europeans have decorated with paintings of humans, basically cover the thing with a bunch of people. Okay.
Yeah. So now the thing is, I'm going to send you a picture of Temple Mount itself from the air, and I just want you to have a look at it. The area that I'm going to color an area that's in red, so that it means that you should look at this area. Let me just get it for you there. I'm just coloring the area so that yes, because then you will know that there's something strange about this place. Now, when you get to Temple Mount, this is what it looks like above the air. Yes, and you will notice that it's not actually a Temple Mount, that somebody's just put some walls around it. Yes, and the thing is, if you look at the same place 100 years ago, yes, the entire place was a mess. That you can tell it was like a type of mining place or something. Let me just send you two pictures, and there was no golden dome. Yes, the thing is, they changed it and they put a golden dome. I've sent you two old pictures. You can see the landscape is totally like a wreck, like mining.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You can see that. So now the thing is,
but there's still the building there.
Yeah. Oh, those buildings are there because that's a water power station.
So this has probably been totally devastated. Yeah, look at the back of it.
No, not devastated. Mining. Right. If many people go to a mining site, it's exactly the same.
Right.
That you've got water pumping stations or something. But then the thing is, because many people, when I travel to many places, this is when I found the scam. So now, if you went just next door across the border, if somebody looks at local cities in that region, the city of Amman, if anybody's going to Petra, they've got to go to Jordan. So now when you get to Jordan, Amman, in the center of the city, this is what they show you. There's another Temple Mount with a mosque on the top. Can you see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So now the thing is, we talked about ancient Greece before. It's in that book, Ancient Greece, that I've written. Ancient Greece didn't exist. It's the same thing. Another Temple Mount. There used to be a mosque there. Yes. And what were these mosques? As you can see, they've modified everything. But can you see? Another Temple Mount. So the thing is, so if you went to Aleppo's in Syria, in the entire region, it's a mountain region, full of deserts and minerals. They've just put walls around it, and they've got their own
mining places, temple.
They've got their own Temple Mounts. Let's go to Cairo now. You can look at the old pictures 100 years ago. You'll find the entire area is a mess.
Yeah,
they've got their own Temple Mount. I'm being serious to you. Every single one of these cities,
just completely created for tourism at this point. Nothing like this.
And nationalism and tourism.
Oh yeah,
yes,
nationalism. We've been here first.
Yes.
Right.
So now in Egypt, the Egyptian citadel is called Muhammad Ali. Yes, and for the Egyptians, they've turned that building into a huge mosque, and there's many of the buildings beside that you can tell that they're ex-factories and other things for mining. But now they're all mosques, and then when you go to that entire area near the citadel, I've been to them. Check this out. You know what the funniest thing is? Those mosques are all empty. they're all empty. And they say, oh, it's a 500-year-old mosque, 1,000-year-old mosque. And then you've got all these other people who say, yeah, this is suspicious. These buildings are not facing Mecca because they're not mosques. And then some other people will try and say, this one's facing Ethiopia. This one's facing Tunisia. This one's facing Petra. That's right. The Muslims must have originally prayed in Petra. It's a scam. So now the thing is on Temple Mount, I'm sorry to say, that building's not a mosque, and it wasn't a mosque. And it looks like that they turned it into a mosque in the 19th century. Yes.
Right. And before in the 18th all of these century. Buildings, power buildings. Yes. My God.
Yes. And now they want to turn it into a temple. Yes. Right. So let the people fight. And, it's sad. It's crazy. Genuinely sad that you can see many similar things. And I've just sent 4 or 5. People should study pictures 1880, 1860, 1890 of 100 cities in Eurasia and look at all these citadels in the center of the cities. And then you'll think, what the hell is going on? Yes, somebody's redecorated them. Yes. And that's all that's happened. Yeah. So unfortunately, this is what's going on. So now at Temple Mount, they want to build a cube temple. Yes. Yeah. As you can see, they want to build
it. Even though it's not a real cube, it's a 36 by 42.
Oh, not the Mecca one. I'm saying in Temple Mount, it's got to be a cube. And now look at all these world leaders that are doing the scam. They're going to the wall and check this out. Here's the Pope, from the West. Here's the Pope from the East, the Dalai Lama. You'll see all these global leaders going there. Danny Trumpus going there. Oh yeah. He's not. His name isn't Trumpus,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got you've got Obama, you've got the Chinese leaders, you've got people from everywhere going there. Yeah, but nobody's asking questions. What the hell's going on? Why are these people going there? And then the thing is, how do we know that they've modified the walls? You'll notice that there's different layers on the walls.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, so let's check these walls out. I'm just going to go to the...
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead. I've seen some weird pictures of this.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Israeli government website so that people cannot say just making it up.
Good call.
Yes. So they say the Western Wall. The Western Wall. Now this is going to get people thinking, what the hell is going on? So now the Western Wall that all these guys are going praying to, that they want the cube temple. Oh, that wall, check this out, is 19 meters high above the ground.
And this wall is supposed to be 19, the last of a temple, right? That's the idea. This is
19 meters high. 19 meters high, dude. And at the top, you can tell that they modified it to make it 19 meters high.
It's not only this. Height.
Oh, now they're turning around and telling us, when did they start constructing this wall? Let's open up a history book. Yeah. You're not going to believe this. When you see this, Andreas, you're going to realize that everybody is being played with. Yes, they're being played with. Yes, and they turn around and says the construction of this Wailing Wall started 19 BC. Is 19 meters high. Yeah, it's becoming a joke. Yes, actually, all this information is in my books, so I can't quote many things, but I'm trying to stick to the Kabbalah. Yes. So now let's get back to the Kabbalah, and everybody knows that the Kabbalah is something to do with Kaaba and Allah. Yes, because it's Arabic words. But let's have a look at official definition of what is Kabbalah, and this is going to surprise people because many people don't have a look at this and they think religion is just religion. Yes. So now let's have a look at the Kabbalah. They call it Kabbalah is supposed to be a mystical tradition using magic. They call it mystical because we don't know what they're doing. It's a secret. Yeah. And what do they do in Kabbalah? Evangelicals, many Jewish people, including some Muslim people, that somebody's going to say, hey, the thing is, they're surprised that Muslims are involved. Like one Muslim sent me this, it's got to do with the Kabbalah. I'll explain it later, but you can put this on where they're using gematria and letters with the tree of life. Yes, the tree of life is based on 19, the 19 circles, and the Kabbalah tree. Yes, I'm going to explain this in a minute. Yeah, have you seen that picture? Yes. So many people will say, "Oh, I didn't think the Muslims would be in on this." Yes, but these Muslims are.
They love geometry.
Yes, yes. So there's something going on here. Yes. So the thing is, I've sent you information to show you what is Kabbalah. So now the thing is, the Kabbalah. How do you do Kabbalah? What you've got to do is you're praying to demons and the fallen angels, and you even demand God. And what are you demanding? To build the new order, or the new world order, or the new world that the Jehovah's Witnesses talk about, and everybody else saying the kingdom of God comes to earth, the Messianic age of 1,000 years. Can you believe they're calling demons, calling the devil? Hey.
Isn't that what Solomon's supposed to do? Is he supposed to call demons to build the temple? Is that like where that
Who said? Who said? There's two sides to every story. We'll go through that next time. Yes. Do you know what I like is the thing that what they're telling us, the religious version, that came from the Vatican and other places that Solomon said this, but who said that's true? There's traditions in Russia and in Germany that have been suppressed that many people don't talk about it, but I'll go through it next time. But anyway, I want you to think of this now. We've got this 19 everywhere, and this is not a joke. And now these people are actually calling the devils, and they're calling the fallen angels to say, hey, please, we want the Messiah to come. What sort of a Messiah is this going to be?
But haven't we also found that what people think of as the devil is like a mistranslation on purpose to confuse people about the femininity of Saturn, who's the mother, not this baby-consuming father? Like
we're not talking about one devil. We're talking about all of them. That they don't even hide it. We're not talking about confusion here. You can talk to the average Kabbalist and say, who are you talking to? He'll say spirits, demons, fallen angels.
If you were to be in charge of this, right, and the deal is you want to stop everyone from being able to do this, and you teach everyone to speak backwards and teach them that if they were to speak correctly, it would be backwards and that would be evil, and you're the only one licensed to do that, then you're the only one licensed to build temples with agents from multiple dimensions, right? And this is what it sounds like we're talking about, is multiple dimensions.
So now the thing is, if you're the only one, then that means you're hiding something.
Yes, and if you've got good intentions, yes, then if you've got good intentions, yes, for the people of the world, why are you hiding something, and why do you have to fight to build a temple? Yes, and what are you going to do in this temple? Because read the bottom part of this. Yes. Now, do you know what they're going to do? Because they're claiming that when you read the Vulgate version of the Bible and these other versions that are in the Vatican, that you've got to get hold of animals, yes, and you've got to burn them alive inside the temple, or otherwise, the demons and God is not going to be satisfied. Twice a day, and they say they're claiming that. That doesn't sound good. What's wrong with burning cows and sheep and animals to death? And who said they're not going to do babies to kids? When demons demand it, why not babies too? Yeah.
Doesn't it say that Abraham was going to kill his kid?
It comes up a lot. Yeah, it did say that.
Yeah. So now we've got to question these things. So now the thing is, let's have a look at this. Now this is what they are telling us officially. Yes. And the thing is, when people go through this, they can actually smell it. They're telling us the Kabbalah originated around the 12th or 13th century, but many people didn't realize it until the 16th century, and this is when we've got the Kabbalah books. But those Kabbalah books are mysteriously in Italy and in Vatican and other Italian museums, and they got sent to Israel and other places, saying, hey, this is yours, this is ours. Things like that, but it basically printed from Italy, but they're claiming it came from Spain. So now the strange thing is the Kabbalah is actually written in a strange form of Aramaic. Yes, a strange form of Aramaic that's a jumble of words that makes no sense. And it says, parts of it are in Hebrew. But now the strange thing is nobody spoke Hebrew properly until the 20th century, and they started learning it after the 1880s. A few people, we talk about 5, 10 people like that. And then we've known that Jews have spoken Arabic for about 2,000 years. You can check this on
give or take 2,000 years, right? Because it seems like they just created it in the last. Oh, we're talking about Hebrew.
Not about Arabic. So now we've got a problem. So why isn't the Kabbalah books written in Arabic? Yes.
Aren't some of them? Aren't there are some Kabbalah books from Spain that are in Arabic, right?
Well, I can translate them to Taiwanese, but I'm talking about the original documents.
Right.
So now this is suspicious.
Right.
Because I'm trying to get to the bottom of the Kabbalah. Yes. So what I naturally did was I thought I'll investigate. So now the thing is, I had a look at the Christian Kabbalah, which is spelled with a C, and people call it the Kabbal and then things like this because it's very big in Christian Kabbalah. So it mysteriously turns up in the 16th century in Europe, and it's mysteriously in the Hebrew language. Yes, and many people 17th, 18th century documents, fallen angels, demons, and what you do is divination and curses. So curses.
Even the name is like Kaaba, right? It's like Kabbalah, Allah.
House of the Father,
right?
And then they say House of the Father, and then Kaaba also means the way of God. So now the thing is, I'll give you an example. If you're a bad person, then God punishes you. Many people have had bad luck, saying, I got bad luck after I treated that person in a bad way. So now the thing is, Kabbalah is actually understanding what God does. Do you understand? Yeah. And then using it against good people. Many people say this. So now the thing is, what is called angel summoning, the fallen angels and divination, where you put arrows inside, imagine, Andreas, somebody made like a doll of you and started, throwing pins at it, stabbing you and things like this, saying, I want him to feel pain here, problems here, problems. You see, this is what it is. So now the thing is, many people called it black magic. Yes, because I'm trying to get a lot of things in and I don't want us to run out of time, let me go make this a bit faster. So now the Bible is now written in Hebrew and in Latin and in Greek. So now we've got these people called the Cathars that mysteriously disappeared and we can't find them after the 17th, 18th century. So now they turned around and said that this Bible, this Hebrew Bible, it's written by the devil and his boys, inspired by the demons. Why are these French people going to say this and these Italians and Germans who are known as Cathars? Why are these Italians, Germans and French people going to say this and the Vatican launches inquisitions against them all? Yes, and they've said that this Bible is inspired by the devil. So now let's get to the next bit. So now the thing is, let's look at it from in Europe now. They've burnt all the Cathar books and everything.
Are you suggesting that the B and T, like Ba and Va and Ta and Thos, so Cathar might have been Kaaba or Kabars? Is that kind of what we're getting at here?
No, they're just one group. What about the Knights Templar? And they also said the Bibles and Hebrew Bible and the rest of it is by the devil. Right. So now the Quran says something else, since you mentioned Solomon before. It says Solomon had nothing to do with this. Yes, and the Quran actually turned around and says that two angels came. This is very important. It says that two angels came to Babel city in the land of Babylon, and they taught people something that would be classified as magic. Now, in the Maghrib Jews, they pronounce this word as seher. Now, in English, we pronounce it as Zohar, and maybe Ashkenazi Judaism in Europe, they pronounce it as Zohar, the book of Zohar. Yes, in this book, we can't find older copies than the 16th or 17th century. So now these two fallen angels that people will say are fallen, the Quran does not say they were fallen, but it says these two angels taught people how to do this type of divination and many other things. Yes, and the thing is, official history says it came in Spain, but the Quran says, no, it came in Babel and into Babylon. That's why many people, you've seen many conspiracy theorists, they say no, that this came in Babylon and into the Babylonian Talmud, and it's a book as fake history that it came in Spain, because Spain at that time, they spoke Arabic, and it's supposed to be Islamic Muslim Spain. But then mysteriously, these Muslim Spaniards are supposed to be Jews in the Inquisition and the Jews getting expelled. Right. So that's they've obviously lied about the history over there. So now let's have a look at this thing that Babylon. Now the strange thing is, where is Babylon? So now the thing is, during the Middle Ages, you can find many maps, and even today, they turn around and say it's just a village. Yes, but Babylon, Babylon during the Middle Ages was known to be, Egypt was called Babylon, believe it or not. Yes, Egypt was known as Babylon during the Middle Ages and Renaissance anyway, that we could prove up to. Yes, because there's maps 16th, 17th century that shows Babylon is Egypt. So now Babylon is Egypt. So now this got, people like Professor Fomenko and other people starting to examine things. And now what they don't tell us on purpose, yes, is that in Egypt, when you go there, they turn around and tell you about Osiris. Yes? Yes?
Is it Osiris? Osiris?
Yes. So now the thing is, can you imagine if I changed Donald Trump's name to Donus Trumpus?
Yeah, or Drumpf or whatever, right?
But after 1,000 years time,
nobody would know. And then put him on a cross like that meme, exactly.
But if I change that name, it means I'm trying to hide Donald Trump. Or imagine if I changed it to name Vladus Putus instead of Vladimir Putin.
I mean, it's a part of our whole culture is designed to. We're not allowed in America. I suppose in England as well, to call any place by its name or any person by their people, right? The Germans or not the Deutschlanders, right?
I'm not talking about that. It's because I mentioned Osiris.
Right. Well, I mean, it just seems like everything we do is designed to confuse us. So this seems like a good example of Osiris.
Yes,
Osiris?
And they don't want you to know. So now the thing is, if anybody looks at simple hieroglyphics, then what they will notice that there is no person called Osiris. His actual name is Uzair.
Uzair.
So why are they doing this on purpose?
Isn't there like an angel Azrael or something like that? That seems like an angel's name. I've heard before.
Now the thing is, there's different pronunciations, but the standard pronunciation is Uzair. Yes. So if you go there, the local people pronounce it like this. So now when I was looking at Uzair, I found something funny. Now, this is very important. Now, let me get to this next bit. Because and the thing is, if anybody looks at masonry and lodges, they're going to turn around and say, hey, we found cubes here, Kabbalah here, and we've also found, ancient Egyptian things in the pyramid. This is strange. Yes? So now nobody will understand this because they're telling us that we're looking for Osiris and we can't find Osiris anywhere. So now the Quran tells you, because the Quran condemns the Zohar, openly condemns the Zohar. The Quran is at war with the Zohar, and Zohar is practiced in some groups in Christianity and in Judaism officially. And this is why the Quran and the Muslims are seen as an enemy. So now the Quran tells you there's a group of people called the Jews. Yes? And these people have classified Uzair as the son of God. Now, Uzair in Anglo-Saxon becomes the name Ezra. So they've made sure it's different names on purpose. So now, why have they translated Uzair to Ezra in English, but then Uzair from Egypt into Osiris? Do you know why they did this? Then you will never realize the connection. So now when the Quran says they've taken Uzair as the son of God, and it tells them, it's warning people. In other words, it's talking about ancient Egypt, and it says that these people who have said that Uzair is the son of God, they're the Jews. Who are we talking about here now? Professor Anatoly Fomenko explains it. And then he turns around and says, even in Russia, as far as Russia, yes, the word Jew during the Middle Ages was actually the priests. Yes, the priests. Yes. So now we've got the Egyptian priests who are claiming that Uzair is the son of God. And then we've got the priests in Russia and in Europe, in the Middle Ages that are going around claiming that Esau, who they've called Jesus, or Osiris, Jesus, or Jesus, they've done the same thing. They're claiming he's another son of God. You see.
The word
so now when you put
Arab and rabbi and literate and priest, this is crazy.
Yeah, when you put these two things together, the thing is, you soon start realizing these are the things, because I wouldn't have guessed it if I didn't read the story in the Quran. Because when I found the story in the Quran, I thought, hey, I'm going to investigate. This is genuinely something very suspicious. So now it turned out and says that in ancient Egypt, that the leader of this demon of chaos, or the leader in ancient Egypt, which is from the time of Osiris, that the demon of chaos, or the guy who's doing all the magic and the leader, is called the Pope. Popis. Well, they've translated it as poppies, like Osiris, but it's actually Pepe, Papa, Baba. You see. So now we're getting somewhere. So I'm sorry I cut you off a few times. I'm realizing this.
No.
It's because I'm trying not to change the subject. So
no,
now
I'm just hearing
let's have a look at this even further, because now you're going to think, damn, I'm beginning to understand. So now the thing is, I've sent you the thing about a Pepe and a Popis. And now in ancient Egypt, if you read a bit more details in the hieroglyphics, it's almost like they're telling you. And these people, they're doing magic and witchcraft. Yes, or what they classify as magic, and they're doing it with mathematical precision. They're using mathematics and grammatria and modifying languages. And Egypt is called Babel, and they say at the Tower of Babel, God manipulated languages and changed them. Was it God, or was it the Pepe or Popi? But now let's get to the next part, and then you're going to think, damn, I can see this now.
I'm already thinking about Keck and the frog Pepe. I mean, this is great, but keep going.
Yeah, so now we've got
wow.
I've sent you an Orthodox snake and a Catholic snake.
Hermes,
Have you seen it?
Right.
Yeah, they're all holding the snake, and this is the Papa or Pope or Poppy or Pope in English.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can see it. So now the thing is, we've got a genuine serious problem. What the hell is going on here?
Isn't
so
that
now
the
if
staff
we go
of
back,
Isis? It's the staff of genetic modification, right? The two serpents that mutate the being. Is that
it's mathematics.
Yeah.
No, it's just knowledge, mathematics, and they're using this in events and in many other things. Now, if we go back to ancient Egypt and just stick with a lot of these hieroglyphics, and then we're going to find something else, and that something else shows you who's the enemy of Pepe or Papa. Yes, and now if we just go through the hieroglyphics, that we could see there is an internal war within Egypt itself. Yes, and so they're carrying the snake. Now, let me show you what the snake is. It's the letter S on the American dollar. The dollar is a D. So why are they using the letter S? Have you ever questioned this? They're telling us some fantasy story, and then we see many journals and newspapers and artistic things from the past that show that the S is a snake. Yeah, well, guess what? You won't be able to figure it out until you look at the Latin alphabet and realize S is the number 19.
Oh, of course.
Yes, the snake.
QRS.
So now the thing is, I'm looking for this. Please don't say that I can't find it. In ancient Egypt, you're going to find out who's the enemy. They're using numbers, mathematics. Who is the enemy of the Pope, or Papa, or Pepe? Yes, let me just see.
Better be the serpents of realization, right? Because like the Sumerian symbol for realization is
now the enemy of the snake. Oh, the Sumerian civilization is totally fake. I'll show that next time. The Egyptian ones, at least we can go and check many.
Balance. Is Ma'at real? Because I love Ma'at. Ma'at's my favorite thing. Balance. It seems like the most original and true thing.
Yes. This is where we get the English word maths from. Maths is plural. It's actually called math and then maths. The word truth in ancient Egyptian means math, and in Hebrew, I'm sure you remember what it means in Hebrew, emet. And in Arabic, it's amat.
Wow.
Are you beginning to see what I'm getting at now? Yeah. So the enemy of the Pope is Math, and the mother and Muhammad's name. Yes, in English we call him Muhammad. We've got used to it. It's like for example, there's Donald Trump. That's two words. But in 1,000 years' time, somebody will think it's one name. Yeah. Donald Trump. What people don't realize, Muhammad is two names. Ma means mother, and then Mat.
Right.
Mother of truth. Mahamat, mother of maths. Mahamat. Maths. Wow. And I'm going to teach you something now. Many people have never looked at Latin words or Greek words and how they compile dictionaries. It would be stupid to say, if I said, I'm going to New York, New York, I've just come from Los Angeles, Los Angeles, my brother is in Chicago, Chicago. Or I'm studying geography, geographicus. I'm studying biology, biologics also, and I like to study Spanish, Spanicus. And yes, have you not realized they're telling us that the subject is called mathematics? They repeat the same word twice. It was actually mathematics. Mahamats. Yes, and they changed it. You can go and check this out, that it's the most stupidest thing that nobody's ever thought. Why do we call it mathematics?
This is beautiful because it connects, because at the time before the
But
Quran
now,
existed,
we've got an even bigger
reading
problem.
Ptah
Who is
Hotep.
this man called Muhammad? Muhammad.
Is he reading
and he's the enemy
Ptah
of
Hotep's divine maxims then? So
he's the enemy of the snake. He's the enemy of the Pope, the Papa Pepe.
Krishna,
and he's
right,
called
is the enemy of the serpents.
Yes, the Muhammad. And then the Quran tells you, look for these numbers, 19. It's telling you, look for these codes. It tells you they're using them, and then look for the natural order that God's using. It's telling you. I'll give you an example now. Imagine you and me, and we bring together a lot of truthers, and we say, hey, these videos are going to be deleted on YouTube. The books people are publishing, they're going to be gone. So now we need to preserve the truth for 500 years' time. So now we bring together lots of people, and do you know what we decide to do? We say, let's compile a book. Yes, and in this book, let's put down all the scams and tell our great-grandchildren 500 years' time, don't believe these scams. Do you know what we're going to put? John F. Kennedy assassination, a scam. Gulf of Tonkin to create the Vietnam War, another scam. Weapons of mass destruction to create this and that, another suspicious scam. Yes, September the 11th, they said 19 hijackers, once again 19, another scam. We're putting all these things down in one book, and then do you know what we tell our children and grandchildren? Memorize this book. Yes, because this has got the truth in history. That is what the Quran is. It's got a list of all the historical lies in the last several thousand years, and it says put it down. They're lying about Uzair, and they've lied. They've made us think it's Osiris, because the moment you look at the Quran and you realize Uzair, I've got to find him, and it's not Osiris, then you think, damn, the Pope and the Pepe and these people who were classified as Jews, then this means that the Muslims are looking at they look at an Israeli and they think, hey, we're fighting over a mosque when that building's not even a mosque. Yeah, it's an industrial place that Arab nationalists have used, and then you things like this, and then you've got Israeli nationalists. They're going to make they're turning their children and grandchildren into filled with hate, or just over a place that was just a mining place and just an industrial factory. And they'll say, oh, what about the Arabic writing on here? Well, go and have a look at some of these other industrial Islamic places, from a few centuries ago. They've got Arabic writings from the Quran, because Muslims normally do that. If they've got a business, they're still putting verses of the Quran on the walls. You've seen the helmets of the kings of Russia. Yes, absolutely. And all the armies of Russia, they're putting verses of the Quran on their swords, on their helmets. Muslims do that. So the thing is, there is no evidence that it was a mosque or place of prayer until only in the last 200 years. But the thing is, now we've got an even bigger problem. We don't know who this Muhammad person is. That this war has been going on for centuries between the Papa and Pepe, or whatever he wants to call himself, Pope. Yes, the leader of the snakes and chaos and demons. Yes, and the Muhammad, the great maths, that you can manipulate maths. And it says that the Papa, the Pepe, yes, they manipulate mathematics, and they do it using language, saying, look at this gematria, this word, this letter represents this, A for Aleph. The Muslims have kept it simple and said, Alpha and Omega, that symbol represents Allah. So simple, they kept it that. But then, the Vatican has said, no, it's Allah. But the alpha is just an A. So in the same way, the word maths, nobody has a look. It actually originated from the Arabs, the Arabic numbers, whoever the Arabs were. Yes, most of them were in Europe at the time, mysteriously. And then the thing is, Muhammad, he was just the great maths. They couldn't challenge this Muhammad or Muhammad or Muhammad. They couldn't challenge him. It's because he had that much truth, because in his book, the historical scams, you can't challenge it. Now, the thing is, when it comes to religion, I'm not talking about this. Now, the religious side, the Muslims claim that this is from heaven or from God. I am not talking about the heaven or the God part. I'm talking about history, because we're trying to see who's telling the lies in history and where the scams are. So can you imagine if we created a book like that? And then once again, this place where this Muhammad chose, he chose the center of the world. of the known landmass and said, pray towards here. And in this book called the Quran, it says, you don't have to pray towards it. Wherever you turn, God's there for you. You know what I mean? But it says, pray towards here. And the Muslims have no animal sacrifices. The only sacrifices that they can have is what farmers do in Pennsylvania, or they do anywhere in America, saying, we've got to put this animal to death because we're eating it as food. That is all. There is nothing else. I checked it in the Quran because I wanted to see what it was about. So now the thing is, the Muslims have Jesus Christ is a normal man. Yes, he's helping people. There's no blood story there. The Muslims have a building there to pray. So what if it looks like a cube? So do many houses in Miami. I love them villas in Miami. Gosh, they're huge. And some of them just look like boxes. That doesn't mean it's, anything to do with devil worshipping. My bedroom's in the shape of almost a cube. Yeah, does that mean I'm worshipping the devil here or something here? No. People are just going a bit too far. Yes. But anyway, all these things are related. And as you can see, it's very suspicious. But let me tell you a few other things that are going to totally shock you. Yes, about the Kabbalah. Yes, about the Kabbalah. Yeah. Let me just find this about the Kabbalah.
Oh my God, the Ma'at connection is really interesting, and just the fact that this is called Isfit, is the Egyptian name Isfit.
It is even worse, because can you imagine that if this is there in ancient Egypt, then the thing is, the problem is that this whoever this Muhammad or Muhammad came, he was fighting against the Papa, and the Quran actually says he was fighting against Abu something or Abba something, father of something, who's the leader of the Christians or something like that, or the Trinitarians. I'm not sure what it is. But anyway, let me send you the Quran. The Quran condemns the Zohar and says, don't call the demons and things like that, because they can't do anything for you. Yeah, they cannot even create a fly. And then it says, Kabbalah in Islam means to turn towards God, not to turn towards demons or anything else. And it says to God belongs the East and the West. So you can turn whichever direction you want. Yeah. So the thing is, Islam has a totally different meaning, but they've changed the meaning from what the Muslims have. Same like, let me show you something else that's suspicious. I found this very suspicious, that we've been told that there was the Ark of the Covenant, and it goes towards the so-called God's house or something. Yes, in history. Yes, or the Temple of Solomon and things like this. And the thing is, we can't seem to find the Ark of the Covenant in history. Yes. Now, in Japan, they have a few festivals. Yes. Here is the
Mikoshi.
The Mikoshi. It looks like the Ark of the Covenant. Now, many people will say in Ethiopia they can't prove it's older than the 19th century, and it's just a few village churches that the colonials influenced, and they had an Ark of the Covenant box. But now the strangest thing is, yes, now the Ark of the Covenant box, even today, but nowadays they use cars, trains, and airplanes. But the Ark of the Covenant was globally done, several times a year, of Muslims walking or carrying their caravans, going from all over the world, that they had their own Ark of the Covenant with the scripture of the Quran and other things, and they used to go to Mecca. As you can see, the procession to Mecca. I'm sending you pictures, from everywhere. Have you found these pictures?
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. This is crazy.
Yes. So,
with the pyramid on top of the box tent. Oh God.
Yeah. So now I've investigated this tradition. I could trace it back up to 200-300 years.
Japan, in Russia, Arabia.
Oh, the history of Japan is very suspicious. Now the thing is, before 1945, let me show you the real Japan that they don't show you in books. Now the thing is, the Japan that they're showing us in books is just a scam and a big lie. I call it a scam. This is what they're showing us is Japan before World War II. Now when you see this picture, at first it looks natural, but once you see the real Japan, you realize these photographs are staged. Have you seen the
like
women sitting on the floor?
From the 60s to me now, but yeah.
No, this is before the war, black and white photographs.
I just mean I've seen some movies that look like this now, but are you sending a second picture? You're saying?
Yeah. But anyway, here is the real Japan. Yes.
Let me see if I can zoom in on this picture. 1 second. It's a little smaller. 1 sec.
Yeah, this is the real Japan. Yes. Have you seen it? Yes. Let me just send you you know, women in the city area, the real Japan. They don't show you all of this. Yes. Can you see? Look at how they're dressed. Now the thing is, let's look at the village women in the farms. Yeah, how I've sent you city women. It's like they're teaching us some bogus, pathetic history. Yes, I've got no idea why they're doing this. But even at the end of the war, 1945 and going up to 1950s, yes, in half the city women, the slow transition. Now, let me show you what happened. The Americans walked into Japan in 1945, and this is from a Japanese museum, and I'm going to, here it is from the Japanese National Archives. Yes, I've sent you the Japanese National Archives, and it shows that the Americans have now occupied Japan. And now the government, they've set, the Americans have put their guys there. It's like, can you imagine I walk into Chicago and I've got guns there, and I say, hey, you know, the British are ruling here. I put my people there. And the thing is, what they've done is they've changed. It was like the, you know, life after the war. It was like a battle for the clothes, implementation, you know, for the simplified clothing. And, you know, if you still look, even in the 50s and 60s, they don't show us that Japanese women that are protesting, look at how they're dressed. They look exactly the same like Middle Eastern women or women in Europe before the modifications came. So now then the government advises on how the women should modify their clothes. And have a look at this. They show that the old fashion is a woman who's dressed covered from head to toe. Then you have the saying that this is the new traditional clothes called the kimono, and without her head covered. And then the modern fashion is, you know, starting to show your legs, you know, in the 40s and 50s. So there was a transition. But let me send more evidence in case. So, yes, this is.
Bless you.
This is very important. Yeah. At first, it sounds like nothing. But let me show you why this is very important. Yeah, September the 11th. So now let's look at World War II we're talking about. September the 11th, this is from my book, Coronavirus. They turn around and say September the 11th was 19 men. Yes, I've sent you that. I'm going to try and make this quick. Yes, so now the thing is September the 11th, many people said it's a scam. So now the Japanese government, yes, inside their parliament anyway, the Japanese government turned around and said that, you know, many of their parliamentarians, yes, came out in public and they spoke in Japan. This is an ally, and they turned around and said, hey, there were explosions inside the building. And they questioned and many parliamentarians in parliament, yes, said, hey, this sounds like it's a scam, it's a joke. So now, why would the Japanese say this? Now, the thing is, let me show you a few mathematical figures. Pepi, Papa, ancient Egypt, mathematics. Don't forget that. And they do it with precision. They've been doing it for centuries or thousands of years. Between the Bali attacks at that time and September the 11th, there's exactly 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day. Now, the thing is, between the Madrid attacks, yes, and September the 11th, there's exactly 911 days in between. Now, between the Bali attack and the London attack, there's 999 days in between. This is no coincidence. Yes. Now, the thing is, now the next thing we're going to get at is the Japanese disaster. There was the Japanese disaster in Fukushima earthquake, 2012. And as you noticed, Gangnam Style 2012, the 19-minute error in the calendar of the Mayan calendar. All this is suspicious, and nobody is telling you about the number 19, but the Quran tells you, go there. Yes, go and examine it, and then you will know the Quran is speaking the truth. Look for this number 19. When you find it and you examine it, you are going to know that the Quran is not lying. And the Quran basically talks about history. And what do Muslims do in mosques? They stand there and their prayer is just repeating the history. And then when they bow down to the cube, you know what predictive programming is, yes? You know, many people said 9/11. So now let's see what these Muslims are doing. They're doing the most powerfulest thing in the universe that you can imagine right now. Let's say we don't know if there is a heaven and hell. We don't know if there is a God. What are Muslims doing when they face this building in Mecca? They read out the Quran, repeating all the lies and the scams in history. This is what the Quran does. And then do you know what they say? Oh God, everybody in the world, everybody who's a good guy, anybody who's good, let them go to paradise and beautiful place where they die and they get everything what they wish for. So if Andreas and David have been good guys, based on their predictive programming and their wishes, we get to go to a good place. Yes, because they're doing it with so much power, you know, several times a day they're praying. Yes, you know, and we don't even know if there's a billion of them, because in Muslim countries they can't even count the populations in the villages. They still live in rural areas. But from what we know, there's up to 1/5 or 1/4 of the world's population. Yes, and then the thing is, even if they're wrong, why should we complain about it? This is all they're doing. So now they pray towards a building, yes, and they say God is not there. We don't know where God is, but we're doing it in unity. So based on predictive programming, you know, that if there is a next life, they've prepared the future for us. You see? Now the thing is, what is the second part of their prayer? They say all the bad people who were the liars causing all the wars, making people, you know, lose their homes, you know, giving bad medication and bad things, profiting from things, send them to hell. Now, the bad people, do you think they'll want these people to carry on with their prayers? No. Because what if predictive programming has power in its tree? Because many people pointed out that maybe September the 11th and many other things happens because of predictive programming. And many people have said, I watched a movie and then similar things happened in my life. Yes, you've heard of it? Yes, Andreas? Predictive programming?
Absolutely. Synchronicity in general. Once you think of something, you start to see it and connect to it, and it starts drawing you in, and that makes a feedback loop, which increases it. Absolutely.
Yes, so now you can see what the Muslims are doing. Now, I don't know why anybody in the world will want to stop this. They're praying for everybody. We're all going to die anyway, for everybody to get eternal life, regardless of race, religion, or color. That you could be a Jew or a Christian or anything. It says this in the Quran, and they're repeating it, saying, let all the good people get them rewarded and things like that, apart from the evil ones. I mean, how can we object to this?
But what's the alternative?
Me personally,
right? Are they going to try to use magic the other direction? Is there
no. The difference is the lodges are closed. What they're doing in the Vatican rooms and other places, they're closed. Every mosque is open. Anyone can walk in. You can watch them day and night. Yes. They've got nothing in secret. Yes. They don't have any secret rooms, secret lodges, nothing. And if there is a priest or imam and he's reading the Quran in a different sentence because they memorize it, and he has to read out the prayer loud, if he says even a different word or a secret word, then you know, we've heard stories that in mosques they beat them up, or they say, hey, don't do that again, or he'll be replaced. Yes, they're only allowed to wish for those things, you know, the good things and things like that. Nothing else. Nothing else. I've checked it myself. There's millions of people who've checked this. Millions of people worldwide, they've checked this. They visited mosques in their local towns because we all wanted to know. I mean, I visited a mosque, I think it was between the age of 18 and 20. I've forgotten the exact age because I wanted to know. There was nothing hidden. It was simple there. You can record it. You can make videos. You know what I mean? And now all these mosques are cameraed up. Yeah, so the thing is, you know, how can we deny it? But anyway, let's get back to Japan. Yes? Yeah. It's like, if you don't want it, Andreas, and what if their predictive programming works? Or what if they're correct anyway?
I mean, that's what a
if you don't want to
go
right?
there. Tsunami is a divine wind, right? Which is created by a meditation. That's what the kamikaze is.
So I'm saying the thing is, they've got a win-win situation if all this is true. Either way, they're going to win. If there is a God, and since they've pointed out all the scams in history, and professors like Anatoly Fomenko, even my research, anybody else who started researching the Quran now has found, damn, the history in here, it points out all the lies. And I found that this is a lie. Yes. So then the thing is, they're turning around, they're making this one wish, that the bad people get tortured and go to fire, and the good ones, who just had a normal life, worked hard, family, friends, did their best. These guys, you know what I mean? They've not done anything evil, maybe they've prayed to God and things like that. They've wished to God, let them come. Welcome. Well, anyway, now September the 11th, if you add the dates together between the Fukushima tsunami earthquake in Japan, September the 11th is 9/11/01, and then the Fukushima earthquake is 3rd of March 2011. When you add the dates together, it was 22nd of December 2012, the Mayan calendar date, as you've noticed. Yes. So now the thing is, this it just shows that this was no accident. Yes. And many people turned around and said that that it was HARP what happened, and even there was many Japanese, who turned around and said, who were speaking about this and said, hey, we know that these dates are no accidents. Yes. And they turned around and said, they turned around and said, hey, there's a scam going on. Yeah, like Building 7 and things like this. But anyway, Fukushima is in my books.
It's true. Made a lot of Japanese were saying that the corporations knew that they had all these disk drives. That was the big conspiracy. The disk drive companies needed the insurance money to build solid state company factories to replace
the Japanese spoke about them. Those are the small things. But anyway, the bigger things are this. So now they've made a 19-mile radius for the Fukushima disaster. Yes, 19 people, September the 11th. Yes. So these things are not a coincidence. So now, in 2011, that same year, there was the Christchurch earthquake. Yes, do you remember that? In New Zealand, it was very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So now we've got Gangnam Style, Christchurch earthquake, things like that are happening. So now let's have a look at the Christchurch earthquake, and you will notice that this is the exact mathematics. The Christchurch earthquake happened 311 days before the end of the year, and that's 311. And then the twin disasters in Japan, the Fukushima and the tsunami, happened on 3/11 or March the 11th. Yes. So now the thing is, I'm going to show you the calculation. This is in my book, Coronavirus, by the way. Yes. So the thing is, there's Muhammad, Muhammad, the great maths. So this is why I got into mathematics. Professor Anatoly Fomenko is a mathematician also. The Christchurch earthquake, the 666 days between the Christchurch earthquake and the alleged beginning of the ancient Mayan prophecy date, December the 21st, 2012. And then if you added together September the 11th and the Fukushima 311, you came to 22nd of December, 2012. Yeah, so once again, this is no accident. Can you see? Have you seen it? I've sent you the calculations.
666 days to go between.
Yeah, yes. So the thing is, these things. So now the thing is, Japan. What does it have to do with Japan? So now let's get back to Japan. And many people don't know this, but let's have a look at this. Al-Qaeda, the people who created it, nobody bothers to check the meaning. It actually means the toilet. The actual toilet, the toilet base, where you're going to... Okay. Yeah, so can you imagine now they're telling us that the toilet boys, did September the 11th. Now, Osama bin Laden repeatedly talked about Japan. And everyone said, why are you attacking the Americans? And he kept repeatedly saying that, he attacked Japan. I've sent you this. Can you see it? And for example, he mentioned Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, wow. Japan.
Is there like World another connection? Like, is it just toilet? Could it be shower? Is it just toilet?
No, it's just the toilet. Where you do your poop. Yeah. Plop, plop.
Oh, boy.
Yes. It's the actual toilet base where you actually do the actual, you know what I mean?
For their religious group. Yeah, I don't get it.
It's not that name. Somebody's having a laugh. So Al-Qaeda doesn't exist. The Russians declared that at the time as well. And they said the Americans are having a laugh, invading Afghanistan. They want to use our airspace. Yeah, so they must have done a secret deal. But anyway, so the Japanese announced their surrender on August the 15th, 1945. So now this is what the historians are telling us. And then mysteriously their women and their society changed, and they had to change their fashion, everything. Yes. And their fashion mysteriously looks Islamic. Yeah. I'm being serious too. When people look at this, then there's something more suspicious going on. Oh yeah, then they officially signed the formal official surrender agreement 19 days after the announcement. Yes. And then the biggest thing, the biggest insult, yes, after the surrender, 9 days after the surrender, yes, what do you call it? The arrest warrant of Japan's leader, Hideki Tojo, was announced. And the thing is, for them, it was a big thing. It seemed like somebody going into Russia right now, and they have the arrest warrant and they arrest Vladimir Putin. That is something that nobody's going to forgive. And now this happened. The arrest warrant was ordered. The official surrender was on September the 11th, 1945. Can you see now what's going on? And Osama bin Laden, the original Osama bin Laden, is talking about Japan.
Wow.
Yes, Japan. and then now let's have a look at more about the thing is the World Trade Centers. Many people have not had a look. Now, when people think of suicide killings, which part of the world do you think? Canada, China, or the Middle East? Suicide attacks.
I don't know. I mean, they seem to be connected.
Suicide bombers, they're all on the news.
All those three seem like connected things. Canada, United States.
It's in the Middle East, suicide bombers. Yes?
Okay. I mean,
yes.
okay. I mean, I feel like we have them here too, from there, maybe. But okay.
Yeah. So now when people think of World War II, all the suicide bombers and suicide pilots, suicide attacks were done by the Japanese and their allies. Kamikaze.
Right.
And kami means God, kami-sama. Many people don't know this. Now, another thing is what nobody seems to explain, yes, nobody seems to talk about, is that the Twin Towers were designed by the Japanese. Yes.
Really?
And they were designed by the Japanese who were connected to the Bin Laden Corporation. And when they designed the World Trade Centers, they designed it as a challenge to Mecca. So that doesn't mean that they're copying Mecca, but it's like a challenge. And when they did many of the courtyards
to commerce. Slate magazine.
Yes, and Mecca. So as you can see, the thing is, what the hell? And it's Japanese. World War II, 19. The Americans, and then the guy who does it, Yamazaki-san. Yamazaki-san is working for the Saudis. Yeah, I've sent you more information if you want. You could read this out. So now the thing is, many people are going to say, David, why does he keep bringing up the Quran in Islam? We will not know this if we don't understand the other side. You see? And then it turns around and says that the September 11th files, they're going to release them in 50 years, but it's going to be full of lies. And then we're told that 15 of these hijackers, the 19 hijackers, even though that is a fake story, 19 of them again, and they turn around and say 15 of them were Saudis. And then they're not telling us what the Saudi information is. So Yamazaki-san, yes, was a second generation Japanese American. And he's working in Saudi Arabia, building the airports and things like that. Is connected to the Bin Ladens.
And all the tower. I remember reading something about the architecture of these buildings in Japan that are flexible, and then that's how they help the Arabic buildings. That's interesting, and that's also something that they use to keep skyscrapers going taller.
But wow. The thing is, can you see now? September the 11th, they arrested the Japanese leader, and the Japanese elite have never forgiven. It's like, can you imagine? Even if Vladimir Putin, they walk into Russia right now, and if they arrested Vladimir Putin on, let's pick a random date, May the 1st.
No. On May the 1st. May the 19th.
Yeah. So now if the White House gets attacked 50 years later on May the 19th, wouldn't that be suspicious? Yeah. And then you turn around and say, this new White House was built by the Russians, Russian designers. And the people who actually sent the did the attacks on the new White House were from the Middle East. Oh, but the Russian guy who designed it, he was working for those people in the Middle East. And then when you look at Russia, suddenly you look at, before Vladimir Putin was killed, the main army of Vladimir Putin was the Chechens, and they were all Muslims. You make the connections.
That's been coming up a lot too. I've been thinking about the Muslim connection. It's very interesting to me that
it's actually more bigger than you know and than we think.
Right.
So now the thing is, I'll give you an example. Yeah, I'll give you an example now. If it's like I've seen kids playing around with this. If somebody's got the latest iPhone, somebody says, "I got the latest Samsung." There's competition going on. So now the thing is, just because another person's got a cube or something similar does not mean that they're doing it for the same reason. So now when there's many people who are producing these posters, and the way they mysteriously spread online to hundreds of millions of people, it means there is an agenda. It means that there is a serious agenda. Now, another thing is, whoever chose that Kaaba location, Mecca, they chose the center of the world's land from many different calculations. Now, this shows that this is something serious. And then this person called Muhammad or Mohammed or the great maths, he's fighting against the Papa or the Pepe. And the thing is, the Papa and the Pepe, everybody knows the Vatican is linked to Washington, D.C. and to London and the snakes. And so the thing is, we're living in this side of the world that we don't want to say it. But many people, I've noticed many people now who are actually investigating many of these things. I've made it so easy in my books that they're investigating, that they're actually now openly saying, damn, maybe the other side is right. Yes. Even I don't know how to refute the evidence.
Or maybe there's something in the middle here that we both are missing, but
in the middle,
that it's being found.
Now you can turn around and say it's in the middle. But
I can't say. I don't think I can. Do you know what to do? Go to Baghdad. Not quite in the middle.
If you're going to say if it's anywhere near the middle, we're just talking on radio. Would you dare to say that stand in front of a million people who've had their brother, sister, or somebody killed by the Americans in Iraq, or a million people in Afghanistan? Dare to say that it's something in the middle and it's something else?
I would continue to say it's not about
or America.
Absolutely, I think it's billions of people. I mean, and probably more. Yeah, but it's not about the left or the right or the west or the east. It's about the above and below. You've got the elite and you've got the people.
It's more to do with power. Everybody knows this is about power. The thing is, the Americans, they took over Japan. Then they told the government, they're telling these people, you've got to dress like this. They took over the Mainichi Shimbun, Yomiuri Shimbun, and these newspapers over there, you'll see connected to the New York Times, everything. And they're reporting things with 19. The government system is the same like the United States. They control the exact show. And now Japan's birth rate has gone down. They've got to bring immigration. In Europe and America, people have realized now that they've got to open the doors to immigration. They've got to let everybody in, from other parts of the world.
It's like the Song of Roland, the Roncevaux Pass,
Yeah, and everybody knows that there's everybody knows that it's a scam. There's conspiracies going on. They know that COVID-19, once again, named Corona.
Hey, careful here. We're still on the radio, remember.
Yes, and the thing is, everybody knows that there's a scam going on. And the thing is, yes, if people are going to say, hey, it's somewhere in the middle. Well, before I even say that, because I actually said maybe there's a third way. And then, you know what? I say this to people, but then somebody else turned around and said, hey, just come to my country. Or some other people, now there's the next generation of refugees who are growing up from Afghanistan and saying, hey, my father came as a refugee here and he's got one broken leg. What do you have to say, David? What am I going to say?
Right. It's true.
What am I going to say? 20 years ago, the Americans walked into Afghanistan.
It's just important to remember that we are not, we say we are the Americans, we act like we are the CIA or we are the British military.
Yeah, we're no, so the thing is, we have been ignoring the other side. And this is not just about war. It's like there's many people who turn around saying, tell these Latino Americanos to go home to Venezuela. Okay.
Yeah, they exist.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, and then the thing is, they're saying all these people are coming from these countries around the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, but nobody's going to turn around and say, hey, these Western corporations who went, and then when they built a pipeline, there's been a pipeline or a chemical spill that's cleaning the pipeline, it's infected the water supply. Now on the land, you can't do the farming, and it spread the river. You know, the rivers have their estuaries, and then these people are on the move, they can't go anywhere in cities, so they think, I've got no home or anything, so now I'll just go to the United States. And then people are saying, they've done something wrong. Okay, send them back. But also, you know what to do? Switch off the lights and everything else. And petrochemicals that makes the plastics in America and Canada. Don't use their gas, don't use their electric, and then send them home.
Right.
Or
between
start
war
paying
and
them.
Malaria and Coca-Cola, it's
yes,
hard living.
It's going to be cold in New York and in Chicago and in Philadelphia and in Detroit. But the thing is, people are not thinking, and they're just going to turn around and say, maybe. Andreas, we can't just say maybe anymore. And I can't either. So sometimes some people say, it looks like I'm arguing. I am not, because the difference is I'm sure you also do. It's not a difference. I'm sure you do. But I've got to consider the feelings now that many people talk to me, and many people turn around and say, hey, David, yes, okay, you spoke up the Quran, and then some evangelical Christian came online. And if somebody says, I'm supporting Muslims, no, I've shown that the scam of the mosque on the Temple Mount, it's a scam. It's an industrial building.
The point that you pointed out about math and ma'at is very interesting to me. I mean, because it really does get down to
everybody knows that they turn around and say the Prophet Muhammad was an amazing mathematician. The Quran describes these people as professors.
When you first started getting into showing the proof of ancient Egypt, the way the modern dinosaurs in ancient Egypt are conflated in the 18th century and made up stories, one of the things I still found to be, pressing is to consider Ma'at and to consider Ptahhotep's divine maxims, the 42 divine maxims, and this idea that, because that's so far removed from what we're taught is Egyptian history.
It's not just in Egypt. All these European languages,
in Islam,
math
Arabic,
means truth or mathematics. Maths is truth. Math. So now the thing is, he was called Muhammad.
Math religion, mathemagics.
Yeah,
don't look at mathemagic land.
Yeah, math. So now the thing is, in the Quran, it turns out and says he was called Mat or Amat. Yes, and then there's Maha and Maha Amat, Muhammad in English. I pronounce it Muhammad because in England I got used to it like that. If I was from a Muslim background, they pronounce it something else. Let's see now. How do they pronounce it? I'm not sure, but I'll have to try to get used to it. But the thing is, Andreas, we've got to. I'm sure you speak to many people online, and there's many people who are turning around and saying, "Hey, David." The thing is, when you're going to turn around and mention this, you've got to consider this. Now, the thing is, I didn't want to mention Temple Mount. Some people have been trying to tell me, saying, hey, this is political. Yes, you do know there's going to be political forces who are not going to like it. Many Muslim forces and many Israeli forces who are not going to like it.
I mean, you're kind of arguing for everybody here.
People are going to hurt each other for many more years, and they're hurting each other already because they think that there's some ancient mosque that was here, or some ancient temple.
You've offered some sort of a common ground, the Temple Mount, for people, because there is something about our ancient history.
It was an industrial mining place.
Yeah,
it was an industrial mining place, and you can see in all the other places that have been modified in the last 150 years that now they're using it for nationalism and religion. In Cairo, they're doing the same thing. In Damascus, Halab, Aleppo, they're doing the same thing. In Amman, they're doing the same thing. In Athens, in Greece, they're doing the same thing. Oh, this is ancient Egypt. Greek temple was here. Acropolis, the great temple. So now they're telling us this was an ancient temple here, King Solomon. All these evangelicals, the thing is, they're excited about it. But the truth is, it's a mining site. The entire area looks like a mess, and many people did farming. And then eventually the place, they cleaned it up a little, and Muslims used it as a mosque. And then it became a mosque after, so it means it originally was not a mosque. Yes, and it originally wasn't a temple. It was a mining site, same like all the others. All the others look exactly the same. That, for example, it's I've put a few examples in my books and that people can have a look at, and they can check it themselves. That even the building that's still on top of there looks like some of all these water-powered industrial stations that we've got even in England. And I've sent you an example, several examples from England. So the thing is, people shouldn't, fall for all these religious scams on either side. So it doesn't mean I'm supporting Islam or anything here. The Quran, I look at it as a historical document, and I found that the scams that it mentions, it says, hey, this is a scam.
Right. It's not about the middle, it's about the deeper. There's something deeper underneath the mining.
Yes.
And
the thing is, actually, the thing is, I don't know if Jesus Christ ever said this: find the truth, and this truth will set you free. Now, Temple Mount, I can find nothing religious about that place whatsoever. Yeah, I can't find any historical mosques or temples there. What I do find is that there was mining going on there, and those buildings were used for machinery for industrial purposes, and they've been modified, and then the Muslims have been using it as a mosque for at least up to 2 centuries. That's what I found. If it's longer, I've not found that evidence yet, so I'm not going to say it's longer, but I found it's up to 2 centuries. And now I've seen that, now they're claiming that there was some ancient temple there, you know what I mean, that Jesus Christ went to and King David went to. There's no evidence of that whatsoever. So I hope people don't fight over it, and I hope it helps. These things help towards global world peace. Find the truth and it shall set you free, Andreas. Let's leave it at that. I hope that's
a good one. We're going to have to do another one really soon. This is just a jumping off point. I'm going to also start sharing some of the ones you did on Act Like You Know 26 with Raphael.
Yeah.
Because I know you did some amazing episodes there too. And this is just incredible. So thank you so
much. Andreas, I didn't mean to get personally, but the thing is, when we talk about things like September the 11th and things like that, many people are involved, and many people's feelings.
Absolutely.
And because now in England,
that's the point.
They let in so many people from Afghanistan that in Manchester, there's thousands of people from Afghanistan. And the thing is,
I like everyone I've ever met from Afghanistan, actually. I've met a lot of Afghanis, and I like them a lot. They've been very welcoming.
Are they in America as well?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, my God, I thought it was just in England.
No, yeah.
Yes, so now the thing is, we've got new generations growing up. And the thing is, we've got a world, we've got to share it, or otherwise turn off the electricity and the gas. Stop using the oil and the gas from Venezuela and these Gulf countries. If people are saying, hey, what are the Latino Americanos? Why are they coming to the Estados Unidos de America?
Right.
But the thing is, if we are going there and we're messing up their land, we can share. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes. I think the future is going to be very interesting if we start to switch on these power plants, if these holy sites become the universal places for free energy for so many people.
So now the thing is, we've got to look at these places in a different way. So now the thing is, there's going to be, how the Muslims see this Temple Mount as one of their holiest places.
Right.
Yes. So the thing is, if somebody
I feel like the Muslims, like Saudi Arabians, could totally be down to have a temple be
so if the Muslims are going to be saying hey, David is he spoke about the Quran 3 or 4 times, and he said it's got some historical things that are truth here. I've shown here that this is now in the political sense, I've shown that Islamic politics is fake and it's a lie, and they're using nationalism and fake industrial buildings
into true math.
Yes, but I'm showing that the thing is, it's created hatred and conflict. And the thing is, what is even worse is that, can you imagine some of these global powers, the global economy is slowed down? If they could get a war in the Middle East and sell weapons, and the war lasts for 20 years or 10 years, something worse than Iraq over Armageddon or something, they're going to sell lots of weapons, make lots of money, and economies in some places are going to be running for an extra 10, 20 years. Do you know how some of these sick people think, Andreas? You got many business people will say, I just manufacture iron or tin. But the thing is, if the weapons dealers buy more iron or tin, I didn't cause the war, but as long as the war keeps going, I get to keep mining, I get to keep selling. So the thing is, there's a lot of forces involved who don't want these types of good truths to come out, so that people use common sense and say, hey, this looks like a factory. There's similar places. God is not asking us to fight over this place. There is no evidence that God has said this or that. So I hope that today's thing sends out a good message there. I'm not on either side. I'm not on either side. If people want a temple there, build it peacefully, make agreements.
Yeah, but make it produce free energy. Put a Tesla coil in there. It sounds like a good idea, and share it with people. I think that's the idea. It should be for everybody.
Yes.
That's what I like.
So I'm saying they can do it, but let's do this without hatred and nationalism. Evangelicals jumping around saying, "Hey, we want an Armageddon for the Messiah to come."
They want it for the apocalypse. That's the other thing.
Yeah, right? So how can you be so sick thinking we want people to get hurt? That's being sick.
A good deal.
Yeah, that's being a bit sick. You know what I mean? We're talking about human life here, and if human life is not valuable. Yeah, if human life is not valuable, what is a Messiah if many people's lives are going to be destroyed?
Right.
Yeah. Isn't the Messiah supposed to be a beautiful thing?
To bring us to safe place. Yeah, it's passive. This is crazy. It's interesting because the entire system is so ingrained to be, you're taught this as a child.
From my concept of Christ as the Messiah. Yeah, my concept of Christ as the Messiah, he was healing people, sick people who had pain. Yeah, but now these people want an apocalypse of nationalism and things like this to hurt people. I don't see that as anything to do with the Messiah. I see that as world power leaders going there, thinking of their Kabbalah, selling weapons, causing mayhem, things like
maybe
this.
Maybe Yeshua's walking from temple to temple, from power plant to power plant, and it actually has some healing properties.
I see these prophets of God as professors, and they were doctors. Jesus Christ used the name of God, and he was a doctor. That's how I see him. Yes. He was a professional, a prophet. Yes. And if people want to say he was the Son of God, I'm not going to go that far. Now, the virgin birth story, I'm not going to go into religion because the thing is you can't verify it or you cannot unverify it. There might be some historical basis for it, but the rest, what we can't go into, I'm not going to go into because...
we know about Uzar now, so there's something to be said about what the Son of God and which Son of God is who. This is important stuff. So, Uzar, thank you for telling us all this.
Yes, the Tsar, Caesar, Son of God. Yes, so that system they brought from Egypt and, they brought to,
or Babylon.
And in their Rome. It's a long story. Anyway, Andreas, let's leave it at that. And let's hope that the truth shall set people free. I have no idea if Christ really said that, but it's a beautiful statement. I like that. And what is the truth? Maths. And what is Muhammad? Mahamat. Yes. Mahamet, his name is even truth. The word Mahamat, his name Mat in Hebrew or in Arabic, just simply means truth, the great truth. And Jesus said, find the truth and the truth shall set you free. The great truth, Mahamat, he spoke about mathematics and he speaks about the lies in history. Yeah, it actually matches. So when the Muslims claim that Jesus Christ was speaking about Mahamat or Mahomet or Muhammad or Muhammad, it sounds pretty convincing. That's what the Muslims are claiming. Now, I'm not going to get into the religious side. I'm staying out of that. Yes, but that's what it sounds like. Anyway, Andreas, let's leave it at that. Find the truth, and I hope it sets people free from nationalism, hatred, and divisions, and we can all build a better life for the future for everybody. I hope
bless
so.
you, David. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, bless you too, Andreas. Okay, yeah, take care. Yeah, bye.
Everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarians.
Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarians.
Hello. Welcome to the Xirtus. Tune in for another exciting episode of wonder, imagination, and discovery.
Recent Tartarians.
Несмотря образует всеобщие закономерности, определяющие законы классической физики для нашего
Sometimes I
мира.
look at the moon and just think, the skin's beautiful. Baby, when I met you, there was peace unknown.
Что касается энергии нано, то она превышает ядерную в немыслимое число раз. 10 в 74 степени.
That's it. That's it. That's That's it. With your arms now. That's it. That's it.
We should talk Terry. 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 We should talk Terry.
Thank you for watching Xirtus. Keep listening. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, please follow and subscribe and share and support. It really helps. Coming up next, Xirtus.
By the way, that's gone. If you didn't record that, that's gone forever. It's gone.